Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to another great Sunday afternoon on the GOAT James Kingdom Show with B. Lee and A. Johnny. Y'all know we go live every Sunday to talk about the GOAT of basketball, Mr. Gold James. I apologize, I'm not able to be on today's program, but y'all know I'm always there in spirits. And we are going to celebrate these great festivities of LeBron James and the USA team bringing home the gold. At the end of the day, y'all know what we do here in GOAT James Kingdom. And y'all know why we created GOAT James Kingdom, for situations like this, to show y'all the greatness of LeBron James. He is called the GOAT of basketball here because of these type of situations right here. He decided to come play for the Olympic team. And now look at us. The greatest in the world, all because of LeGoat James. LeGold James. GOAT James. Y'all know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you, y'all. GOAT James Kingdom.
All right, guys. What's good, everybody? All right, so let's go ahead and start off. LeBron James, Steph Curry, KD led everyone to the gold medal. LeBron's the MVP. All right, John. I know you've been waiting on this day. What you got to say about this? Another gold medal for LeBron James.
I love it, man. It's one is one of the great days to be from the United States as one, and watching LeBron. I really watched this play over in the Olympics. LeBron is a point guard, and that's what he is. You saw the way he dissected teams, how he was running plays with his players on the team. I watched Jason Kidd play, and he would dominate the game without scoring. That's what LeBron is. He knows how to dominate a game without scoring. In this Olympics, he showed he is still one of the best players in the world. And in my eyes, and I'm going to say it personally, when you put all the great players together in the world and you win MVP, to me, that says you're the best player in the world. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, MVP of the NBA is one thing. MVP of the Olympics says you're the best player in the world. When you put all the great players together, who else is better? They said LeBron. This ain't got nothing to do with the NBA and them wanting to promote somebody. We in Paris. They said LeBron is the best player in the world. I agree with them. Hey, fight me on it. Hey, say what you want to say. Best player in the world. We saw what our team did. Hey, best player in the world. We had teammates. Hey, Steph Curry. Hey, put him to sleep. Let's go. Hey, go James. Best player in the world. Let's argue about that.
So now the media's got something right now for the first time in what, 20 years? Now y'all on board when the media
got
says
something right
about it because it's something positive.
Hey, Craig, ain't nobody killing my glory today. Ain't nobody killing it today. This weekend has been great for me.
Yeah, this is the same media y'all been clowning for the last 2 years. Now all of a sudden they get something, finally sound like they got something right for the first time.
Hey, a dead clock is right twice a day.
All right, Craig. Before you go, I'm gonna play this from the media for you.
USA men's basketball team, right? And the players all voted. Is that right, Rob G? They voted. The best player is LeBron James. Sean King, I'm here to tell you right now that if LeBron James is the best player on Team USA, you can forget about a gold medal. LeBron James, if he's your best player, there's something wrong. That's the guy who's the best player on Team USA. I'm going to pull for Team Sweden.
I'll
out.
say this. Rob,
on USA, I'm out.
The first thing I thought was, okay, Bron took the USA select team to dinner and he paid the tab. Like, it had to be something because just from a mindset standpoint, like, what is wrong with these young guys? Like, this bothers me. This bothers me to no end.
You see that?
Hey, Craig. So what would you say about the media again?
Those two are stupid.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, Rob Parker took his glasses off saying something stupid, so I should take mine off because he said something stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There you go. I took mine off. He said something stupid. So
All right. So Craig, how does LeBron James play in the Olympics?
He played great.
Basically summarize his season.
What do you mean summarize? This is separate from the season.
So it's separate for the
Well, he
season,
did
has
play good in the
nothing to
season.
do. Mhm.
He played good in the season, but what he did in the Olympics, his production in the Olympics did more than what his production in the season did.
Okay. All right. Travis, how do you summarize this year for LeBron James and the US winning gold?
I mean, it's a great accomplishment. I mean, it's always, like I enjoy seeing like how far the world's coming along. More than because I mean, I always expect the U.S. men's team to win because they have just the best players. Like, the only thing really holding them back from winning is like you think about the chemistry. That's really it. I mean, how hard is it going to be for them to gel as a defensive unit, things like that. I really am not afraid of them beating other teams because they have, we always have the best talent. It's not really, to me, it's not even really close. I mean, I wasn't really sweating. I mean, I knew someone was going to take over. Steph Curry just happened to be who he is. The last two games, they don't win without him, especially the gold medal game. But I mean, it's a great accomplishment for everyone. I think, like John said, it was LeBron was the unquestioned leader of that team, especially I think against he was really clutch versus Serbia from a leadership standpoint. Getting clutch baskets, putting guys in the right positions. Obviously, Steph Curry carried the team throughout most of that game. But I mean, you have to give them mad props. I mean, they went there, they took care of business, and it is what it is.
So, this capitalized LeBron season. Who had a better year 2024 than LeBron James? What LeBron James did this year is he had the best year. The best year. This is his second MVP of the year.
I mean, he's 39 years old. They voted him the best player before this started. The Olympics said at the end of this started, you still the best player. Now, you're not the best player on Team USA. No, you're the best player in the world. He was most consistent on the team. KD was hurt. He played great in this. You see what Ant-Man is going to bring in the future to the USA team. But your core players, LeBron, KD, Steph, LeBron was the best player. He put everybody in the right position. Steph Curry seen some shots open that he normally don't see because you don't have nobody running the offense from the top of the key, pick and roll offense, and you worried about, not only is you worried about Steph, LeBron is such a great player that the weak side has to cover and stay where they at because they can't rotate off and pick up LeBron. So when he come and pick and roll, he can go downhill. So you got to wait a second before you rotate over to Steph Curry to take that cover him back. You have to stay there. So he's getting shots he's never seen in his career. One of the greatest shooters getting wide open shots because of pick and roll offense, and you had to play it like that. So, I mean, that was an amazing. What we saw was amazing. I don't know. I mean, egos got put to the side, and it was great play from the team. It was a team game. I watched LeBron dominate without having to score on the offensive side. He guarded Joker in the semifinal game too. That was something he also did, and they all played roles. So they did their thing. Team USA was great, and I love what they did. What you think about that, Travis?
No, they were great. I mean, like I said, I didn't expect really anything else. Like, come on, if they're all playing at even above average or 50% or 75% capacity, who's gonna beat us? I mean, who led the Joker? I mean, Joker led the entire Olympics in points, rebounds, steals, and assists, right? So he's
Yeah,
out there. If you want to talk about a fucking carry job, it was Joker. I mean, obviously
yeah.
LeBron was the elder statesman and the absolute unquestioned leader of that team, 100%. I give LeBron that because he's transitioned to a leader, And I've always said he's, especially the latter half of his career, I think he's one of the better floor generals we've ever seen, especially from that perspective. Like his IQ is so high, he knows how to he knows how to utilize every piece of whatever team he's on. So to me, it was really impressive because they could have definitely lost a couple of those games.
Yeah, you saw Serbia change their game plan in that third game too. I saw what they did. They I ain't gonna say they tricked USA, but they did some things. They didn't show their hand early on with the two games they played them previously. In that third game, they did a lot different. And I thought Team USA would play down to them, knowing that they had beat them by 26 the two other games. And it took Team USA some time to catch on to what they was doing. They caught on, but I don't think they should have went in that game thinking they was going Serbia was going to play the same way they did the previous two games.
Yeah, and also
I
Serbia.
think they did. I think they did. They was just knocking down shot at three after three after three. They was on fire. Definitely. I knew if just like every year Kentucky has the best team, the best recruits, and every year in the tournament they don't win. It's not because they don't have like the best team. Like these guys, when they get to the tournament, they always have a game that another team just shoots the lights out.
Yeah.
And I do if the NBA players and the USA team get into a game like that, it's going to be a problem. And they start off shooting the lights out.
Yeah.
They just started off. And plus, it's hard for the US. Like, I don't think a lot of people understand, even like the old NBA players, they don't really understand how basketball works. When you're playing 12 guys in a 20-minute half, it's hard to actually get that chemistry going. And these other teams, they're playing 7, 8 guys at the most the whole game. They have that nice structure going on. They don't have to go in for 5 minutes and come out.
Yeah.
Jokic is playing 35 minutes a game. If he plays 20 minutes a game, they're not being close in the game.
No, they're getting blown.
That's what the NBA are doing. And then they figure out in the fourth quarter, we got to play our guys. We got to make sure our best guys are there. And that's what the other USA team did. And that's why they was like a 35-15 fourth quarter, because they put in their best guys because they was getting their ass
whooped. Our team was so stacked, we don't have to play Jason Tatum, or we don't care if we have the Finals MVP in our team. Like, we're gonna win regardless. Like,
they're not going to win if they keep switching everybody in and out.
They're not going to shoot like 75% for an entire game, or like hit every three.
I mean, you guys, you could fake that, but if LeBron, KD, and Steph didn't play, they would not have won the gold medal.
Well, yeah, but they are playing.
I'm just saying, like those three guys. If you take those three guys off, I don't care who you put in the NBA, we will have the best talent. They will not win.
Wait, so simple as that. 3 top 15 players of all time off the team, we might lose. Okay.
Yes. Will we still have the best talented roster? Of course we will. But we will not win.
Yeah, no, it's like
because international basketball is not a star-driven game. Yeah, it is a skill-based game.
The only reason these teams are even closer is because they're familiar with each other. They gel together. They prepare for this all year. They do various things to warm up. They're together. They can mesh. They're in the same area. We are competing against each other, and like we come together and practice leading up to the Olympics with each other. So it's just like they have no time to gel. They're familiar with each other's games, sure, but as a team and as a unit, that's what they have going against them. Is like the prep time, and obviously the leadership shines there when you have LeBron ready to kind of give the elder statesman Curry, Durant, he was super clutch in that last game too. So I mean, that's the only reason why these teams are even within shouting distance. I think is because of that.
They're within shouting distance because they're playing their rules. They're playing a more condensed court. They're playing roles that they know they have. The USA team does not have time to gel. They have less than a month to start playing. They're playing on a different court, different rules, and different roles. You cannot just throw players on the court and expect them to win. That's why these teams are playing 7 to 8 guys at the most, and the US is trying to play 10 to 12. That's why they're down a lot. And when they really need to win, that's when they put in their best players. Even when they had the Redeem team, the final game, they had to bustle up and put in their best
Totally.
players. Like, this may be the last time the USA team even win a gold medal in years, in decades.
Yeah,
There's no LeBron, KD, and Steph Curry in the NBA right now to help them win. Like I said, if you take those players off the team, they would not win this tournament. This was the most difficult tournament in the Olympic history.
the world caught. The
All
world
these
is caught
NBA
up.
players,
The world is caught up, and
they haven't.
we need
Like,
to.
I don't know if they caught up. I don't know if that's the right word to use. They caught up, but they are more of a team. They're more of a team player. Like,
That's
these
what I mean
players
by
are
caught
playing
up.
versus they're playing versus NBA players every day anyways.
Yeah,
So they're not intimidated by them. This is not 1992 where they're like, wow, we're playing versus NBA players. No, they are literally on the team with them. They played in the NBA with them before. Like, they know how to play. If you know how to run, move, and shoot, you can play. These guys, great players, are not in the NBA. Good players are not in the NBA. Not everyone is in the NBA. These players overseas are really talented and they know their role. They know how to play together. Look at South Sudan. They even said they've been playing with each other for over 10 years. They know their roles. And the USA, and when they played them, they didn't really know their roles. And LeBron James just said, okay, I'm going to just drive to the hole at the end of the game because I know they cannot stop me. So I really believe next two Olympics, they got to get the gold medal because they're more LeBron than they need right now. This is why this was the most difficult. This is why this championship means something. This means something. This is why LeBron James being the best player on the court means something. Like, right now, watching Steph Curry, he changed my mind of him being in the top 10 now.
yeah,
How great that dude play.
yes.
I had a Tom Brady moment with Steph Curry. Like, we cannot keep this guy out the top 10 now.
Do you
You
think?
cannot.
Do you think the NBA has changed their rules so much? As far as the physical play, because that's the way they play international ball.
I don't think the physical play had anything to do with it. These guys are more physical than those. LeBron running people over. Like, no one had a problem being physical with them.
That's my issue.
The court is bigger. It's wider. There's more room to cover. The international court is more condensed. It's like high school. You cannot run and do all this stuff with a smaller court.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The NBA players don't have no issue with the physical play. Actually, I believe that's the way they prefer to play. I believe they could be more dominant in international play because of physical play. If that's the way we can play, let's go.
I mean, those guys want to play physical anyway. They're just not allowed to. They're just not allowed to.
I believe
because all the touch fouls.
I think the biggest rule change that hurts them is the 3-second rule. I believe that's the hardest rule for them to get. They're not used to somebody being able to be in the middle and stay there. I believe that's
because they haven't did it so long. They haven't did it in so long because that's high school stuff.
Yeah,
that's college stuff, and they've been in the league for 10 plus years. And even the knocking the ball off the rim, they're still complaining about goaltending. Like, yes. that's why I always said that the '92 team would not be like these current teams because they don't know the rules of the game. They would not know what to do in this game. They're playing their original game. They don't know about the 3 seconds in the lane and all this other stuff and goaltending the ball off the rim. It's not goaltending. You can knock the ball off the rim, but it's just a different game. They will have to adjust as well. And the USA team currently has more of an adjustment. But if you play in the NBA rules, it'd be different. But if you play in the international rules, it'd be different. But if you play in the Olympics, you're gonna play in the international rules. So that's why those teams will be above the '92 teams. I don't really understand why they say the '92 teams is better anyway.
Well, we do realize Larry Bird couldn't play. I mean, that version of Larry Bird in '92 couldn't have played today. His back issues was so bad that
there's a lot of players like he would not even be a factor. Would not even be a factor on the '92 team. They just want to glorify that team because Michael Jordan played over. If Michael Jordan ever played on that team, we wouldn't even hear about it.
Yeah, because the '96 team was
simple as that. Yeah, simple as that. We won't even hear about.
That's the same thing about this team. If GOAT James wasn't on this USA team, we wouldn't be talking about them. Who was talking about the 2020 team? Who was talking about the 2016 team?
Nobody.
Nobody. I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another great GOAT James Kingdom episode. I'm only here for a short time, ladies and gentlemen. We about to have some fun. I know you zesty Jeffries are hurting. They really hurting, aren't they? They're trying to act like they're not.
They're hurting bad. No, they ain't not acting like it. They showing that.
I mean, they're not. Yeah, I mean, they're trying to downplay this gold medal, this world championship, like it's no big deal. Like everything LeBron James does not matter. What he did in high school, the greatest high school player ever seen, that don't matter. Those 3 championships with 3 different teams with finals MVPs, those do not matter. Those 10 finals MVPs do not matter. The gold medals do not matter. The NC, nothing matters. In-season tournament, Olympic MVP, in-season MVP, none of that matters when it comes to LeBron James. What LeBron James does on the court does not matter to them. And every time LeBron James do something, they try their hardest to say it do not matter. Oh, we're counting Olympics as something new. Have you seen the Olympics like this before?
Nope.
The women's just won by 1 point.
Yeah,
point.
You saw that last shot?
Yeah.
The USA men's was down by 13 in the 4th quarter with 6 minutes left. It doesn't matter. This is the toughest world tournament ever. And who was the best player in that tournament? LeBron James.
LeBron James. LeBron Ramon James.
LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron.
Oh, yes.
Best player.
Oh, yes. Listen, y'all zesty Jeffries, it's over for y'all. We have officially identified, tagged, marked all zesty Jeffries. We have cataloged them. We are getting them ready for their burial site. It is a wrap for y'all. The GOAT conversation is over. It is not even necessary anymore.
Been over.
I'm tired of this shit. Kill all these motherfuckers. I'm sick of fucking tired of this shit. I'm sick of this shit. I'm so fucking tired of this shit. Fuck this shit. Every motherfucker, fuck you, fucking tired of this shit. Don't let me kill all you motherfuckers. Come on, I mean, motherfucker.
Butt nicking nasty or no? Can you make a butt nicking nasty or no? Butt nicking nasty or no? Butt nicking nasty or no? Can you make a butt nicking nasty or no? Butt nicking nasty or no?
Oh, man, this is a fucking great day. I got so much going on today. I can't wait to keep celebrating. This is going to be great. When they land home, when that plane comes home and the girls team got to go, the men's team got to go, and we get ready for the
LeBron
NBA
got that
season.
Oh, hey, Twin Man, you was right. He didn't need this for the debate to be over. We wanted to put more dirt on him, okay? It wasn't enough dirt, okay? So we had to bury them some more. You had to bury them twice sometimes.
These MVPs do not matter, do it. Do it, Travis. This don't really matter, do it.
In what regard? Like
being great. In regard of being great.
Being great? Of course it matters. It's part of
Okay then. So that it's a part of the GOAT conversation, right? Because the GOAT conversation is about how great you are, correct?
No. I didn't give Michael Jordan any credit, or I didn't move him up because of his gold medals in the Olympics. What the hell would I do for LeBron?
When has Jordan won 2 MVPs and 2 titles within 12 months?
I'm not even going to get into that.
That's what we talking about. That's what we talking about, though.
I mean, like LeBron James, if you even look what he did this year, I know they're saying Steph Curry should have won
MVP this year. What are you talking about?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he won one of the MVPs. Yeah, he won one of the MVPs.
He won one of 4 MVPs.
I
know they were saying how Steph Curry should have won the MVP, but man, LeBron was first and second in everything. Jeez.
Everything.
Man. Rebounds, steals.
Everything.
Field goal shot 66% from the field, 77 from the 2. The highest efficiency on the team, second in points. But Steph did pass him in the last two minutes in points because he went unconscious for the 3-point line. But Yeah,
Unconscious.
and
Unconscious. That was
then when
crazy.
you even go to the all time rank, LeBron is still up there high. He's still up there high. Like LeBron James, what he's done as an Olympian, that's why he's a flag bearer. That's why. That's why he's a flag bearer because he's that great.
And it wasn't
He's
just
that great.
Team USA who it was all the Olympians who wanted him to be the flag bearer.
Yeah.
So,
Why
I
they so
mean,
mad? Why they so mad? Why they upset? They so hurt.
so I mean,
Man,
Johnny, they've had a bad week. I mean,
Let's
that's
let's let's it's been a bad summer. Back the whole 2024.
been a bad summer.
Ever since Mike Peak and we are done with the 90s, everything has been downhill for the Zesty Jeffries. It's been bad. Shout out to you, Ruddy Sports. Thank you for joining us again and supporting us with the super chat. Said LBJ has 10 MVPs through 4 different formats. The GOAT.
He does. He
that
does.
is factual.
He
That
does.
is factual. Let's
He-
let
he
Reggie
does.
Reg get in here. Reggie Reg is in the building. Here we go. Reggie Reg says, another day on Goat Glaze Kingdom. LeBron was consistent throughout, but Curry is the MVP in the season tournament. Oh my God. I don't understand this. So Stephen Curry can average 7 points per game for 4 games, for the first 4 games, and he is the most impactful player for the USA winning gold and going 6-0 during the entire run.
they care about scoring. That's it. That's all that matters is scoring. They
Oh,
don't
the
look at-
most valuable player ever. Like Brandon just showed up here. Look at all these MVPs my boy got. 3 All-Star MVPs. 3 Finals MVPs. In-season
Finals
tournament
MVPs.
MVP. 4 Finals. I'm sorry. 4 Finals MVPs. He's all over the place. He's just winning in every phase of the game.
He's the most
Other than
valuable player.
look at this. This is the GOAT leading the USA.
LeBron is the most valuable player in basketball history. Period. That's what it stands for. And why is Jordan named after MVP? I mean, LeBron is the MVP. That's who he is.
I
MVP.
mean, yeah, if you had one person, it had to be Kareem, but
Yeah, it should have been Kareem, but we know why it wasn't Kareem.
Yeah, we gotta give Jordan something now. We gotta let Jordan have something. We got
Jordan always need help with something. Like
Just
they's always
something.
giving him stuff he don't deserve.
Yeah, he don't deserve that at all. So
I mean,
at
why
the end,
everyone's the funny thing they always saying the in-season tournament don't count. Like competing doesn't count now because LeBron James is the only one compete apparently.
that's their problem. That's their
I
problem.
mean, the bubble championship don't count because LeBron James the only one
That's their
competing.
problem. Nanny boo boo, cry to your boo boo. Go home and cry to your mammies.
It's funny how they say new stuff. They have an issue with new stuff being added, but don't recognize in 1984 that's when they added eight playoff teams to the NBA. So if this was the year before, the Bulls wouldn't have made the playoffs that year because they wouldn't have qualified because there wasn't 8 seeds in the NBA playoffs at the time. That was the first year they had 8 seeds.
See, but they don't like that conversation. That's not a conversation they want to have. Because again, remember the Zesty Jeffries don't watch the NBA. We keep reminding y'all this. They don't watch the NBA. They're not NBA. They were only watching because they were hoping LeBron James lost. That was their initial. That's what they were doing, and they hurt because the GOAT came through for the USA team.
Did you see Skip Bayless posted?
And now we're doing this.
Did you see Skip Bayless posted that Steph Curry won the MVP of the Olympics?
Of course he did. Of course he did.
When they announced LeBron won, he just didn't say anything else.
He's an idiot. That guy's an idiot. Either way, man, listen, I had to come in and pop my head up, man. I'm so glad we doing this festivities. You guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become a member of the channel. Check us out in GOAT James Kingdom. We're going to put the link up for all of y'all very shortly. Again, the USA has won gold. LeBron is the MVP, and he has now won 2 titles, 2 MVPs in the past 12 months. It is not good for you. 2024 is not good for you, Zesty Jeffries. And let's not let LeBron end up winning a championship with his son. So I'm going to get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks again. Y'all know what to do. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Peace to you, gentlemen. Shout out to Craig. I saw Craig was on the show earlier. Hopefully you can get back up because the Zesty Jeffries need you, Craig. Travis has nothing for you right now. Travis is hurting. In fact, he should just be quiet because 8, 10, 24 We did it for Kobe. We did it for Kobe, y'all. We did it for Kobe. Shout out to the USA. Shout out to all the GOAT James Kingdom platform. Y'all boys
I'm
do
happy.
good.
Did it for Kobe.
Peace and blessings, y'all.
All right, see. All right, so I'm gonna bring up this stat line. This is the greatest stat line of any player in NBA history in the regular season, postseason, and not even the Olympics.
I know the 40K is gonna be hard to reach, but that 8K is damn near impossible in the postseason.
I mean, the 10,000 assists and 10,000 rebounds. Yeah, that's hard to reach as well.
Yeah, I mean, he adds. I mean, he adds value to everything on the court, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I felt like one of the reasons Jason Tatum didn't play is because he needed to add things to his game, and he's not a good playmaker. If you're gonna have him on the court, he's a great scorer, but even that part he limits himself because he shoots so many jump shots when he can punish people on the inside. That was one of the things he had did in that final game. In the finals, he started going to the basket, and people couldn't guard him. And when you watch him play, it's like jump shot after jump shot. Teams be like, "Shoot, if you ain't gonna punish us." So I believe one of the reasons he didn't play is limitation was that he allowed himself to play during the game. And I mean, that's what I saw. I don't believe Jason Tatum's had a good past 3 months, and I've watched him play. And in this tournament is F your feelings. We trying to win gold. I mean, that's what it is for me. I watch basketball and I get it. So I don't know if people upset, mad that LeBron's the best player. Hey, be mad.
No, I mean, I could see it coming too. I think he was the leader for sure. I mean, you could argue that. I mean, was he the most consistent? I think so.
Yeah,
definitely, because obviously Durant wasn't playing first couple or whatever, and then Curry was quiet the first few games. So I don't have any problem if they want to give him the MVP. He deserved it. But I mean, you could give him props and say this is fantastic, and I just don't see why there would be any pushback on that. I mean, to me, it doesn't move it's not part of the GOAT debate. But I mean, it's if you're just talking in the pantheon of like, especially Olympic play, I think that's a separate thing from the NBA. Then, he has 3 gold medals, and he's like you said, he was leading statistically in all-time ranks. So it's can't really hate on him, man. You just gotta tip your hat and be like, how many cherries on top of your career are you gonna get? So.
Yeah, I mean, it was the way to end his Olympic career. I don't think he'd be in the league in 2028. Even if he is, I think that probably would be his last year in the NBA. I don't think he's going to play that long, but even if he was, I think he shouldn't play. I mean, it's time for the young bulls to show their time and do their thing. I mean. I saw some really good basketball. I saw a lot of IQ, really high IQ players put it together. And you could tell at the end of the game, they wasn't really running too many plays. They was focused on each other, knew what each other did great. And they kind of played an AAU type of game at the end and said, hey, we're going to do this together and we're going to make this work. And we're just better than them. So let's go do this together. So they
said, Curry, can you hit 9 threes? Yes.
Hey, the man just went unconscious and said, "This is what I do. This is me. If I've been off, this is what I do."
If Curry was off that team, we were down by 30 versus Serbia. If Curry's not on the team,
I mean, you can find a reason for each player, especially KD, LeBron, and Steph. If one of them wasn't there, you can see a reason for them losing each game. They need to. Each person played a really big part of the game. I mean, we're not even talking about the defense LeBron played. Like people don't. He guarded Jokic. we do know that, right? He played good defense, and when you can put one of your best players on Jokic and say, "Hey, y'all do some other things, and I'm gonna guard him." I mean, we don't have to double you. Let's do
Was
this.
LeBron chance or not to try to do other things like when Bogdanovich was making threes, he was running out and chasing them off the 3-point line.
Yeah,
Then he had to go guard Jokic because Joel Embiid wasn't in the game at that time, and they kept switching. Like he was doing so many different things, making so many passes. Like it was a team effort. If Steph Curry wasn't in that game, we most likely lose. If Kevin Durant didn't play in that fourth quarter, we most likely lose.
yeah.
Jokic disappointed me, man, with his defense on
Most
Embiid.
likely
I was
lose.
like,
You said he disappointed you for
with his defense on Embiid, I was like, bro, you've got to contest those shots, man.
I mean,
Who?
have you watched the last couple of times they played against?
Who you talking about? Jokic?
Oh, Jokic versus Embiid, like whenever they were matched up on like they literally it would have been raps, but Embiid like hit like scored like 7 straight points to like basically keep him in it and then eventually take the lead. It was like Jokic was like
Jokic was exhausted.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say.
You gotta know the guy's on a heater. You've gotta be in. You can't just be like play your usual ball, which is just like Jokic is so lazy. Like on defense, I mean, I love the guy, but it's just like, bro, where's the effort? You're 7 foot. You're nimble. Do something.
He looked tired of me. He looked tired of me.
Can we say
he looked tired of me at the end?
Older as a player, and
Jokic didn't even have that great of a game. Like I know they're trying to say it took all these MVPs to beat them, but it was his teammates who was knocking down three after three.
Yes,
Jokic had an average when he scored like 15 points. It was like,
yeah, he wasn't really a factor that much. Like Joel Embiid was having his way with him, and he was so tired that like LeBron James could guard him. That's how tired he was.
Yeah.
That LeBron James was frightening him and pushing him around.
He has to develop that killer instinct. Jokic does not have that yet.
I mean, he used to allowing Murray to take over when he's tired. And his teammates did do it, but they didn't do it like Murray can. Murray could just go off for 30 in like a half.
Yeah.
Yeah,
give Jokic Kevin Durant.
He's a bigger point guard as far as upper body. So when Murray plays against other point guards, he's a lot of times stronger than other guys.
Murray's big. He's a big guy.
Yeah, so
when he's healthy.
Yeah, when
that's
he's healthy.
the main thing. When he's healthy. And him and Jokic are a perfect combination. If they didn't play the Lakers, they would have probably won the title. The Lakers wore them out. Even though it was 5 games, they wore them out. They didn't have enough. They even said they didn't have enough energy to win that series versus the Timberwolves. They lost games because they was just too tired to actually win like they used to win in the clutch.
Yeah, that was. I mean,
if they didn't play the Lakers, they would have definitely won a title again.
You think they beat Minnesota? They played Minnesota in the first.
Yes,
round?
if they're not exhausted, they beat Minnesota.
I believe then they play the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals again.
If they don't play the Lakers at all, they would have won the title easily.
Okay. I got you.
I think Lakers would have obliterated OKC.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, they did during the season. Like, I know they didn't want to lose, but man, sometimes you got to set yourself up in a better situation than playing the team that you struggle against.
No, that's bitch talk, brother. No.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's hard to just lose a game and hope that you win the next game, but if you're that good, it shouldn't be a problem.
Just sweep them every time. It's fine.
But hey, it happens. And the Mavericks, which was not even a top 5 team in the West, made it to the finals because they escaped everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had
I told everybody
Nuggets battling each other. And the Clippers, right? No, the Clippers played the Mavs, I think.
Clippers played Mavs first round.
Yeah, they played the Mavs.
Played Mavs first round, and I told people the Mavs gonna run that 1-5 pick and roll every time. And if you're gonna have that fake defensive player of the year out there, when the team wait a minute, Paris said we're gonna put a defensive lineup out there, and they put the defensive player on the bench and said you ain't playing no more. What
I
is
mean,
that?
if you really watch him during the season,
Shout out
he's not
Wimpy.
really that impressive.
Oh, man.
He's not really that impressive when you watch him during the season.
He's
Hey,
not.
where's Wimpy's? He got Rookie of the Year and silver medal in his rookie year. Come on,
I
the
mean,
GOAT.
do you believe this Olympics will show why he should have been Defensive Player of the Year?
I mean, I think most people said Wemby was the best defensive player in the league last year, so I don't
Yeah.
think it's a shock. But I do think next year France is going to probably win the tournament.
The FIBA
Wemby
tournament?
with
Canada
4
sure
years
will.
under his belt, I don't know. They might be like Jokic. He's getting older, and you see he's not going to be able to play
Older?
at
What is
this
it, like
level
30?
he's playing in 4 years. So, who, Jokic?
Yeah.
I mean, in 4 years, he's going to be almost 35, 34. He's not going to be at the same level as he is now. And Wemby, I'm pretty sure he's going to be the best player in the NBA
He
in
might
4
be.
years.
He very well might be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and France got some young players coming up in 4 years. Where they're going to be at in 4 years, they're going to be hitting the prime of their careers starting off. And yeah, I mean, France is set up.
I mean, in 4 years, Bronny James may be the best player in the NBA. Who knows?
Oh, he's the best player right now. Yeah.
Yeah, but I still think LeBron James probably had the best basketball year than anybody this year. This dude,
I do too. I do too.
he's like riding off on top in year 21. It's crazy.
The best basketball year ever was 94 a game or 95 a game. Sorry.
So I'm saying best like this year, this season.
Oh, this season? Sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
he had a great.
I mean, who is in the running?
Jokic, MVP of the
Tatum,
league,
and Jaylen
led
Brown.
MVP of the league, led the Olympics in every stat, and silver or bronze medal. I mean, you could say that, right?
Yeah, you can say that. Jokic, Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Maybe Tatum not in it. Yeah, he's
I don't think
even though he
Tatum
won
gave a
gold, he's
fuck.
not in it.
Like
I
he
don't
was.
think
It is Jason. It is Jaylen Brown.
Tatum's like, when is this game
Luka,
over so I can go party in
Jokic, and LeBron.
France? I'm the league champion.
I don't think Tatum's
I mean,
playing in the next Olympics.
If it was him, I probably wouldn't play either. But who knows? He might want to play. Like he's building a legacy, and he might play. But
I don't think he'll
who
play
he's
Steve
playing
Kerr first.
behind. He's playing behind KD and LeBron. Like
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can't really blame him. And when he got in the game, he wasn't really impactful. It wasn't like he got in the game and was killing. Just because he won the title don't mean that he should play.
Tatum's
more than
weird to me,
everybody.
man. Like when you watch him play, it seems like he has to be like. And obviously, this is disingenuous for me to say, but like, it seems like he's not always motivated. Like he's very passive sometimes. Like there's times where he just gets on a heater and takes over. Like you can see where he's really
Right,
like he takes the ball. Like he'll play with aggression. He'll play with with anger.
He plays just like Vince Carter. Like sometimes he's great and sometimes he's just passive.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be locked in. Seems like he's just gonna be locked into the
I
game.
think he's locked in. I just think he needs to be
dimension. With his dimension and skill set, like he could do that. Like obviously he had a great season, but like he could be like
the best.
He can be dangerous all the time. You know, it's just.
I mean, he's first team All NBA, so you know he's good, really good.
Yeah.
He won a title and he led everyone in everything in the finals. So you know he's a really good player. But look who he's playing behind: Kevin Durant and LeBron James.
Look at John wearing the white beater so he could just give a smackdown to all the zesty Jeffers.
Yes, that was the whole point of it. that was the aura I wanted to give off today.
No. Yep.
Yes, I wanted to give off that.
I'm gonna be safe from it. No.
That's my new thing right now.
So, Travis, you think Jokic had the best season this year?
No, I mean,
of anybody.
No, because he obviously didn't win the chip. I mean, you could say Jaylen Brown.
He didn't win.
And things like that. I mean, if you're talking with the Olympics factored in, you could say LeBron James. I mean, because he was voted, the respect that he has among his peers is unparalleled. And among the basketball community in general, the coaches, players overseas, and And I mean, you could easily say LeBron, but I'm just thinking if you're just talking like statistically and from an accomplishment standpoint, I mean, if you led at every metric or every statistic, Jokic, and he's the MVP. I mean, obviously he didn't win the chip, but what's the best? The best season
I
is
mean,
somebody.
Jokic
Lakers didn't
had a
win
pretty.
the MVP or the championship.
I guess, and you just thinking about Jokic. He won the MVP, but he didn't win a title. He
I
got
mean, from a
bronze medal.
career standpoint, LeBron, 100%.
No, yeah, just for this year alone, like this season, if you include the Olympics, because
LeBron
it
passed
started
Jordan
next season as it started.
in medals, sure. Then this is a huge accomplishment for him, and this was a monumental thing.
Oh yeah,
I
I was about to
mean,
say he already had more medals, but he already had more medals, but this is his gold medal. So
he's been like the U.S. voted him as the flag bearer, like he's royalty.
Why wouldn't
Olympic
they?
MVP, gold medal. I know they don't like to talk about an in-season tournament because LeBron James won it, but that was a pretty good accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean the NBA ain't finna get rid of it in-season tournament no time soon. It's gonna be part of the game, so you have to start respecting it as a part of the game. That's what it is.
I mean, everybody tried to win.
Yeah,
and LeBron James played better than everybody.
I think more teams gonna take it more serious next year and every year after, because they saw.
I think they'll change it though, right? Like they have to make it.
I don't think money needs to be there.
I think they took it seriously. LeBron James is better than everybody.
Yes.
I mean, they're not going out there to lose games.
Mm-hmm.
They're going out there to win games. LeBron was just better than everybody.
I think they need to make it make it a little bit more meaningful. Like it can't just be a litmus test of your team at that point.
Yeah, I don't think the end goal needs to be you win $500,000 at the end. I think it should have some type of playoff incentive in it. And
yes.
And I think teams will even look at it a little different. I mean, even if you say we give you an extra draft pick, something there's more. I don't think $500,000 is an incentive for millionaires. I mean,
I don't think they need incentive at all to play basketball. Like,
no, I don't.
Why would you want to play?
I don't.
Like, why would you want to play hard? You're NBA players. You're playing in the league. Why wouldn't you want to play hard? You don't need incentives to play hard.
No.
They don't get extra money for winning an NBA title. They don't get extra money for winning the Olympics. Like,
well, I think what John's saying, Brandon, is like you're not going to have players be like, oh my gosh, like I had to turn it up a notch to win this thing that doesn't impact my team whatsoever. I think that's what he's saying.
But why wouldn't you if you're a basketball player?
Because it doesn't mean anything, bro. It means
why wouldn't it mean anything?
Because you don't get it doesn't have anything to do with the playoffs. It doesn't have anything to do with other than like you won a game. It's like it doesn't mean anything other than the ultimate championship. It's not a statistical award. It's not an individual award. It's just something you get for being the best team at a certain a quarter way through the season. Who cares?
I mean, if you play basketball, you play in high school, you play during different tournaments, college, different tournaments. No one's going out there talking about, I don't want to play because it doesn't help me in the playoffs.
I'm not saying they don't want to play, dude. They're just saying it doesn't mean it's not like you're going to go all out.
You're a basketball player. You're going to play hard if you're a basketball player. If you're not playing hard, there's something wrong with you. You shouldn't be even trying to play there.
You go out in every game, you want to win. I mean, I played basketball and
there's different tournaments.
I don't care what time of the year it was.
Throughout basketball, there's different tournaments you play during the season. Like, I have never heard any of my teammates say, I'm not about to play because I'm not going to win anything during the postseason play. I'm not about to play hard in this AAU tournament because it doesn't help me in the nationals. No, you want to be the best.
I mean,
if that's the play, why play in the regular season? Like the playoffs don't start till 6 months later.
My freshman year of high school, we played in the Thanksgiving tournament. It was my first tournament I ever played in, and I was ready to play so hard. I wanted to play. I wanted to show out. I didn't need no incentive. I mean, we didn't get no money for playing in it, and I played hard. And my coach pulled me to the side. He told me, I said, I ain't never seen nobody play so hard. I was ready. I mean, I wanted to win this. I mean, let's go. I mean, I wanted to show I was the best player on the court. I wanted to show my team was the best team, and I didn't care who was out there. Let's go. Let's beat whoever there. That's it.
I
Well,
mean,
you see,
this, yeah, this narrative is coming from the media who just want to downgrade LeBron. Like, no NBA players are saying, I'm not gonna play hard because it doesn't
I'm just saying
guarantee
it's a
me a
different
spot
level of intensity,
in
bro.
the playoffs.
From the playoffs, it's a different level of intensity. You can see like players actively turn it up. They talk about it all the time. They're resting or whatever they need to do to get ready for it, especially if they've already locked in a seed. And like it's a different feel. It's like because this is actually
No one's locked in a seed during the in-season tournament though. They're playing as competitors.
Yeah, but the
They're
championship
playing
game
not
doesn't
to
even
lose.
mean anything, dude. Like it doesn't count toward your standings, right? And like it's just a litmus test for your team. That's all it is. And like I think
That is
they should
a
change it.
fan narrative. That's a fan narrative.
How is it
That's
a fan
not
narrative?
a
It's
competitor
facts.
narrative. That's not a competitive narrative.
No, they need to change it
No
like
one wants to
MLB
go
has.
out there. No one wants to go out there and lose if you're a competitor. They get props for Kobe for blocking LeBron James shot in the All-Star game.
Okay,
Like,
but you're
that's
also
like
not.
Kobe's best
You can't
moment
use this for
against
like
LeBron James.
You can't use this to rank people because this like last year was the first year it was there. Even if you were going to rank people with it, which is ridiculous, but like you can't use it other than why it was a 2023 thing. So who cares about it? Dude, like if John's right,
Yeah,
they change
fans
it.
Don't care about it. Fans don't care about it because LeBron James.
So I think they need to change it to like where remember when MLB for a few years had like the All-Star game mean like the winner had home field advantage, like in the World Series. That would be cool if they did it for something like that. Like if the winning team, like that conference had home court advantage or something, if they won that, or if a representative won that, or some sort of playoff implications, that's when I think we would, be a little bit more.
It should not relate to any playoff things. You have to compete throughout the season too. Nothing about the in-season tournament. You need an incentive to make the playoffs. You play basketball if you want to make the playoffs. You don't need an incentive to make the playoffs.
I think I get his point because it's a fan narrative, and you're right about that. It's a fan narrative, but the fan narrative is we live in ring culture. It's ring culture. It's all about the ring. But basketball players look at it different. I want to go 82-0, and then go through the playoffs and go 16-0. That's the way a basketball player wants to play. But a fan culture is what incentive? What do this mean? They don't give you a championship ring. You're right. It is totally a fan culture in that aspect. But as basketball players, I want to go out and win every game. I want to dominate. I want to win. I don't want to lose a game. I don't learn nothing from losing. I want to learn something from winning every possible game, and that's it. So it is two different narratives being played. Basketball
There's
players
always
say
a
one
narrative.
thing and fans say another.
Yeah, just like the bubble title. It's a fan narrative that it don't mean anything, but the players say otherwise. There's always a fan narrative of when it's LeBron James. Even they talk about when he won in the lockout season, it doesn't count. It's a fan narrative. It doesn't really matter.
No, he won a championship. That absolutely counts.
It's so much of a fan narrative that they say the bubble championship don't count, but then in other eyes they say, "Oh, what Miami Heat went to 3 of the last 4 finals," but you don't say, "Well, one of them was a bubble finals." It is about LeBron because you would say Miami Heat went to 3 of the last 4 finals, and one of the finals is in a bubble, but they say the Lakers won a championship. Oh, it was a bubble championship, so do it really count?
I mean,
only the haters try to discredit the bubble ring. Like every championship counts, especially if it's a league-wide championship. The only thing I'm saying, Brandon, is that I recognize that, yes, grabs because you're obviously the best team and the best players show up. But I'm just saying I don't see how you could use that to be like if you're ranking players. I don't think that's what you're saying, but I don't think like you could use that to rank or to prop another player up over another. That tournament specifically unless I'm just mistaken on your whole take on that.
Ranking what players? Like
are you using in-season tournament?
He had the best 2024.
No, nothing like that. I'm just saying like if you're saying 10 years from now, if you're like, hey, LeBron has 5 in-season tournament MVPs, I'm using that to that's why he's 5 spots better than Magic Johnson.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't use that because he's already the GOAT. So it's not really a thing to me to rank the in-season tournament above other things because I already believe he's the best player to ever play the game. I guess that's one of the narratives, but my reason for saying that, I'm talking about his season 23-24 season. I
Oh.
used that to say he had the best basketball season than anybody
And one
Sure.
one of
because
the
I
reasons
think that matters.
one of the reasons why I think it should be used. What if the Lakers lost, especially in the championship game? Well, he couldn't even win the East season tournament. That should knock him down. I mean,
I
the
mean,
2004 Olympics is already used against him, and he barely played. I mean, to say the Olympics isn't a part of it. What LeBron won a bronze medal in '04.
I mean,
Barely,
some
barely
people
won.
think this is LeBron James' first gold medal.
That was Tim Duncan's fault. Come on, Tim.
It was Tim
Release the
Duncan's
goal.
fault. It was Chris Reed.
Prime
I
Duncan?
mean, they had Tim
Come on.
Duncan, Allen Iverson on the team.
Yes.
Well, AI sucks anyway. Come on. Miss me with AI. No, I love AI. I mean, no, you're right, John. I think that it was like that. You're not addressing anyone in the chat here. You're addressing the people who are using things like that to kind of try to break down LeBron.
Yes.
Like it's the casuals we know are out there that we are lucky enough to get on the show sometimes and destroy. And so,
being on this platform, I've never paid attention to how many casuals that's out there, and it is springboard to me that how many casuals are out there.
You talk to them every day on Facebook. I see you.
Yes, and when I debate them, sometimes I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" It was like I don't even. They fall for the banana in the tailpipe all the time. I string them along, and I said, "This is what you're gonna say," and then they say it, and it'd be like, "You fall for the banana in the tailpipe." It'd be so easy, and it'd be like,
Brandon, he does the Lord's work out here all week on these guys.
Hey, Brandon, they fall for the banana in the tailpipe all the time. I said, you're going to repeat the same thing the other guy said the other day. I mean, you're finna repeat it, right? I said, all I gotta do is say is this, and you're gonna say this. I mean, come on now.
They even come on here and say the same exact thing over and over again, and even Travis be pissed off at it. He just put his head down as soon as they start talking. It's like the same script every time.
Terrible.
Why is he the GOAT? And then the whole time you talking about LeBron, you didn't explain to me why he the GOAT.
I want someone to come with like a hard, like Larry Bird is the GOAT take and just run with that or something like something fresh and original, please.
I mean,
just think about it. Like, it's kind of hard to say Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time, anyways. I mean, there's really nothing you can really say about Michael Jordan being the greatest player of all time because everything you say, a hole's going to get poked in it, and it's not going to be Jordan. I know Travis tried. He likes to use the advanced team stats because he was the best player on his team all the time, the highest usage rate on his team all the time, which equates to him having really good advanced stats. But then again, advanced stats do not make anybody the greatest of all time. It's something that you use to see how great they are. Like, I like value over replacement. That's nothing. Value over replacement does not state anything other than how great you are against your teammates.
I agree completely. I've never used more. Never.
Yeah, the most valuable player. Like, whoever has the highest VRP should be the MVP, or one or two should be the MVP.
Because the guy below you sucks.
Their team and everybody.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
Michael Jordan and LeBron each led their team led the league like 9 times. So each of them should have 9 MVPs.
Well, I mean, it's all about who has the most balanced resume, right? Like you can the reason for you can say Jordan is not even about the advanced stats and everything else like that. It's like you can talk about. I think most people look at just the major awards and like your overall resume. LeBron's up. Like LeBron has, at worst, I've always said this, a top 2 to 3 resume as far as accolades and achievements go. And like that's why you could argue for Kareem or him.
Well, LeBron has the most. He's actually number 1. It's kind of hard to say 2 or 3 when he's number 1. Like
MVPs, no.
Number 1.
Finals MVPs, no.
MVPs. All right, if you're going to use most valuable player with other guys in different eras, of course.
What else would I use if we're ranking?
If you're using MVPs in certain eras, of course. But then again, that doesn't make Michael Jordan the greatest because he was better than his competition. That doesn't make Bill Russell the greatest because he's better than his competition, or Kareem better than his competition. That's basically what the most valuable player is for, is what you did in your era.
That's the only way we can rank them. They don't play each other.
You say what? I can't hear you.
How else would you rank their players? Like, it's about what you did. Like, I don't care what era you're from. Like, it's about what you did on the court. It's about the overall resume, right? Like, why would we say the exception's LeBron?
There's no exception for LeBron, but if you're using regular season MVPs and finals MVPs, that's strictly era based. You could use it in the GOAT debate of what he did in his era, of course. If you're using who led the teams of most titles, that's going to be Bill Russell. That's not going to be Michael Jordan. If you're using the most MVPs, that's not going to be Michael Jordan.
Exactly. And like, you don't just use one thing. Your resume has to be balanced for you to be in the GOAT conversation. What do your defensive accolades look like? What do your MVPs look like? What do your titles look like as far as individual titles? Like, those things are like, what is your overall stat line? What is your impact to your team? What do your advanced metrics look like? All these things go into it. And like, LeBron's argument, let's just be real here, is that he's been the most consistent player that we've ever seen, and he has arguably a top 1 to 2 to 3 peak. That's his argument. Like, you can't say he has the most MVPs. He doesn't. Finals MVPs, no. He has more than 99% of everyone who's played ever in history. That's why he's undoubtedly either the GOAT or top 2 or 3. But if you want to say that as another player, maybe only 2 in my estimation, besides Bill Russell, is the GOAT, then I don't think it just automatically struck down because LeBron has more player of the month than them. Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. Like, he's most
LeBron
consistent
has
player.
more NBA awards than everyone. That
doesn't
matters.
mean anything. Player of the month
means NBA players. That means NBA players.
That means nothing unless you win the MVP that year. Nothing.
That means NBA players. If you have more NBA awards than everybody, that means that you're on top of all NBA awards. If you have the most MVPs, that means you're on top of all MVPs.
Agreed. What if you have the second most MVPs and more defensive accolades than player A? Like, it's all about the balance. I think Mike has, if you're talking about the most balanced resume as far as accolades go, most finals MVPs, second most MVPs, tied for the most first team all defense selections, things like this. They all go down just accolades. Then you can't say that he has no argument. That's just disingenuous.
Nobody said he doesn't have an argument compared to LeBron James. He has more All NBAs and more All NBA first teams. He doesn't have an argument to LeBron James. 13 All NBA first teams is superior to MVPs and Defensive Player of the Years. Michael Jordan played more than 13 years. Yeah. LeBron James has 13 All NBA first teams. That's superior than 5 MVPs. That's superior to 5 MVPs. That's superior than Defensive Player of the Years by far. Defensive Player of the Years, you're not even the best player in the league. You're not even the best player in your team. Defensive Player of the Year does not mean as much as first team All NBA. That's the top ranked thing. All NBAs, the most.
Yeah, Mike won All NBA player like every year that he wasn't like injured or like 40.
LeBron still has the most.
Agreed, and that's a lot. It's a consistency thing.
By far, he has the most.
Sure,
he has.
If that's your criteria, then hey, great.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, when you talk about major accolades, there's nothing more major than that. There's nothing more major than taking 2 lottery teams to titles in 2 years.
I care about how good are you. What's your ratio?
There's nothing more major. There's nothing more major than starting a team that couldn't make it out the first round for 4 years and bringing them titles. Like what LeBron James has done can't even be measured compared to
There's
anybody
nothing
else.
like more than like retrofitting that team, bringing more players on, completely different team, and then leave
and if you take LeBron James off that team, they don't win titles. That's the thing.
Right. If they take a top 10 player of all time off that team, they don't win titles. Great point.
They don't win titles.
They don't make the playoffs.
That's the dumb thing. Of course, when you put a player of that magnitude on the team, they're going to. You can't say if they didn't have him. It's not like he's some scrub and they just added him and he's like some ancillary player. He's going to have a huge impact because he's one of the best players of all time. You can't just say if he wasn't there. That's so disingenuous.
I mean, the thing is, LeBron's the greatest player of all time. He's doing things in year 21 that
If
no
the
one has
Lakers didn't
done
have Magic
in
Johnson in
their history.
1980, they don't sniff 5 titles, even with Kareem, right? Come on.
They probably could have won. Who knows?
No. What?
But definitely the Heat, the Cavs, and the Lakers would not have won anything. The Lakers still had the best player in the league.
No, at
Without
that
Magic.
point, sure, but they weren't going to win in 80, and he was declining after that. What are they going to do? Like trade for Dr. J or like Moses Malone?
He was the MVP when Magic got there.
Exactly. But without Magic, another top 5 to 7 player, what happens? Nothing.
Magic wasn't top 5 to 7 at that time, though.
So he contributed to that team, and then he was
he contributed. He was really good. He was really good, but
he was finals
saying
MVP.
the best player in the league wasn't going to win another. Like Kareem was in the finals a few times before Magic Johnson was even on that team.
Yeah, he had one final. He had one chip in 10 years, and he was still.
He should have won Finals MVP in 80.
We all know he should not have won Finals MVP. Like they gave it to him for a reason, which was, that helped the NBA.
Kareem got robbed that year.
Yeah. But then again, like I'm saying, like
I was about to say 33
every,
and 15, and you don't win Finals MVP. Okay.
Yeah, it's like
he didn't play in the last game, and Magic had that crazy game 7.
No, what I'm saying, Brandon, is like you can't just say, hey, if the Bulls didn't have not even Matt, if the Rockets didn't have 95 Hakeem, or 94 Hakeem, then they don't win the chip. Of course, it's an all-time great player. You can't say that you can replace him with like Kevin Love. And they still have the same success. Like it's just different.
You're the one who's trying to downgrade the title because LeBron James won it.
No, I'm not going to downgrade it.
We're just saying that if LeBron James was on the team, this not like they was going to win. They won because of LeBron James. They were literally struggling. And Miami was struggling every year to make the finals.
Yes.
Struggling every year to make the finals. It took LeBron James heroics to win titles. It took LeBron James having the greatest game in the playoff history to get past Boston to get to a game 7.
Okay, what I'm not finding this.
You're acting like LeBron James joined this super team that nobody could beat. No, they were very beatable.
I said
no one could. Oh, go ahead.
I said if you retrofit a team and you bring someone like Chris Bosh and then you add like a top 2 to 3 player, 1 to 3 player if you want of all time on that team in his prime. That team is going to hit the roof. I'm not saying that he would, that he joined like some. I'm not saying that he to downplay him, but I'm saying it's disingenuous to say if they didn't have him. Of course, that's like saying if they didn't have the best player ever, they wouldn't win. LeBron was the catalyst and the best player on those teams, 1,000%. 100%.
So why are you downgraded then? So why are you downgraded?
I'm just saying you can't. I hate when people say if they didn't have him, they wouldn't win, because of course it's a redundant statement.
Yeah, I mean the Heat were never the best team in the NBA. That's what I'm saying. They won because of LeBron was great. They were never the best team in the NBA.
What they were the best team in the won championship
because of LeBron James. That's why they won the title, because he had to do remarkable things to win titles.
LeBron James was the best player in the league.
They were just better
from 08 to 18.
Not because they were just going through everybody. No, they were struggling every year because they had a terrible roster put together.
Yeah, that's what I just said verbatim.
But you're saying that the only reason he won because he constructed this team. No, the only reason he won because LeBron James was playing.
No, they constructed a good team to complement him, and
he had a team that was comparable to make the playoffs, and LeBron James took them above to where they need to be at.
Comparable? Chris Bosh was like a top 10 player during that time.
The top 10 player who couldn't make the playoffs.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
He could make the playoffs with like Jalen Rose as his best player.
He couldn't make the playoffs. He couldn't make the playoffs.
So what?
2 of the last 3 years.
He wasn't playing with LeBron and Wade.
2 of the 3 years he couldn't make the playoffs.
LeBron didn't make the playoffs his first 2 years. We don't hold that against him.
You said Bosh was a top 10 player. 2 of the 3 years he couldn't make the playoffs.
Statistically.
He couldn't make the playoffs. Not 1
So
year,
what? It's a
not
team
2
sport.
years. Yeah, he could make the playoffs because he wasn't as great as people want to make him out to be.
Okay.
He was a very good player, but saying that he was a top 10 player, that's not true.
What? Kevin Love was a top 10 player in what, 2012? On Minnesota?
Yeah,
They were garbage.
who was a top 10 player?
Kevin Love finished like what, 5th or 6th in MVP voting that year? 26 and like 15?
Kevin Love was never a top 10 player. I don't. This narrative that Kevin Love was this great player is ridiculous.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's just ridiculous. This narrative that Kevin Love was a top 10 player is ridiculous because he got a whole bunch of offensive rebounds and put him back in.
Okay.
Those teams that LeBron James joined, if you took them off, they barely make the playoffs.
You saw what happened to Cleveland.
They barely make the playoffs.
Because it's LeBron James. Like what you're saying isn't like some gotcha moment. When you add a player that's that magnitude to a team, of course it's gonna adjust like how they win or how they lose without him. That's why he has like one of the best box plus minuses in NBA history consistently, and like that's why the team's rating goes up or down depending on where he is. It's not something saying, hey, if I add prime Mike to this team or prime Kareem, like it's gonna be every player that we consider top 10 is gonna have that same type of effect on these teams. It's not like, especially when you add him prime. Like, of course he's going to affect. They need pieces. Yes, I'm not downplaying that. But to say, hey, he goes there and they lose without him, that just you can say that about any player we talk about. Any player.
I said if he goes there within 2 years, they're winning the title. And you're saying because he's constructed this team, that's why he's winning. No, he's winning because he's the greatest player of all time.
Both things are true.
Yeah, he's winning because he's the greatest player of all time, and that's what he does. And that's what no one could do that in NBA history, what LeBron James could do. You put any star on a lottery team within 2 years, they're not winning the title.
There's several players I could like put on that Heat team. They have similar success. Bet, even better. That would be a better fit. Okay, John, help me back on this one. If you put 2000 Shaq or 94 Hakeem on that Heat team, and you don't have to figure things out with Wade, and they revamp the team like they did, you think that they're not making a deep run?
They would have to figure it out with Wade. There's no not figuring out with Wade. There's figuring it out with
What's
Wade.
there to figure out?
Wade didn't want to.
Wade didn't
want to give up the reins to LeBron.
I think they had in 2011.
Shaq and Kobe had a very good roster. Shaq and Kobe had a very good roster. The Miami Heat had a terrible roster.
That's why I say in 2011 they don't make the finals if they got a king. They don't make the finals.
You don't think so?
They definitely won't make the finals.
Disagree.
If you go back and look at that roster was trash. Outside of the big three, the rest of that roster was trash.
We already did this, John, on the debate. We did this because they had a great team, statistically speaking, as far as when you look at
defensively, they were better defensively in 11, but offensively they wasn't. But I don't think they beat Boston that year.
With Hakeem? Prime Hakeem? You don't think they beat Boston?
The only reason they beat Boston because Dwayne Wade hurt Rondo. They might not even made it out that series if it wasn't for Rondo being hurt.
I just saw that replay with the arm move when he hurt his arm. I just saw that replay too.
I mean, the Heat struggle versus Boston. I don't even think they beat them once versus in the season.
No, I think they had lost all 4 matchups.
This narrative that Miami was this juggernaut is ridiculous. Yeah, LeBron James thought they were until he got on the court and figured that that's not going to be how it is. And Dwayne Wade didn't want to give up that reign to LeBron James. Dwayne Wade wanted that MVP as well. That's why
they were still
it played out how it played out.
They were still great.
Yeah, they were very good afterwards.
Yeah. Afterwards, they made the finals every year.
Because of LeBron James.
Okay. Because of LeBron James.
Because of LeBron James.
You're right. Continue.
Yeah. Because of LeBron James. That's why I said this
because
narrative
of LeBron.
about
Solely. Correct.
accolades. This narrative about accolades because Michael Jordan has 6 Finals MVPs does not mean that what he did accolade-wise is more impressive than what LeBron James did. Simple as that.
If you want to,
And statistically, it's not even close.
yeah. I mean,
What
if you
what
want
LeBron James did, yeah, what LeBron James did on the court, it can't even be even comparable to anybody.
I mean,
Yeah,
like even
he's
Finals
great.
MVPs wasn't even available for everybody. And for example, the in-season MVP first year was available this year, but Finals MVPs wasn't available for everybody because if it was available for everybody, Jordan wouldn't have the most. We all know Bill Russell would have the most Finals MVPs if it was available for everybody. Um, that's why to me everything has to count because it's like if we're not going to count the East season tournament because it was new this year. One of the biggest push for Jerry West is that he won the first Finals MVP and they lost that year, and they count that for him the first Finals MVP. What if we said they thought the Finals MVP was a joke back then? Oh, it really don't mean nothing. It's not going to count towards nothing. But you ultimately see as time went past that it does matter. And I think we just because it's new, that don't mean we need to say it don't count. I think we need to take it in as this is going to be a part of the NBA, part of the NBA story forever. And the East season tournament will be a part of the NBA, and it's going to be a part of the NBA for a very long time. And it's going to
As
be
it
a
should.
part of certain players' argument for things. Oh, he won in-season tournament final MVP. It's gonna go on people's resumes and say, oh, his GOAT argument, he won 4 in-season tournament MVPs. So, I mean, because it's new, I don't think we should kill it. It's going to be a part of the NBA. It's part of. I mean, something new comes to the NBA every time, and we
It's
need to
a
start looking
part,
at it.
yeah. I don't think it's going to rank as high up, as other things, but it's going to be a part of it. It's not going to be nowhere near the Finals MVP, of course, even though they playing about the same games. But still, that leads to an actual NBA title, like the conference Finals MVPs. That's never going to be high up like the Player of the Month and Player of the Week, but it's going to be something to add to their resume.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's going
saying.
to be
It's
just something to
gonna
add
be
to their
added to the
resume.
resume. People are going to be looking at it like that as a part of the resume, and when you look at people's resume, it's going to show up on there. I mean, why not show LeBron James in-season tournament Finals MVP on his resume? I mean, you might not look at it as a part of today, but in 10 years, it's going to be a part of the resume.
I mean, it'll be part of the resume. It's just not something that I would use ever in my criteria to rank.
Yeah,
understand.
I know that the Finals MVPs is important, but it has to be special with the Finals MVPs. Like Michael Jordan having the most, that's something special. LeBron winning with
Yeah,
3 different franchises, that's something special. You have to have at least 3 before you even be in that conversation.
3 Finals MVPs.
So at least 3, right, to be in that conversation, or at least 2, at least 2. But then again, we have certain situations like Steph Curry should already have 2, but he doesn't.
Hakeem, I never really hold that against him either. I mean,
I mean, it means something. It means something. Like these awards mean something.
Hey Travis, I got a question. It's not it's pushback, but it is not. I just want to have an argument. And you say when you add somebody and subtract somebody, is going to be very impactful. The '93 Bulls lost Michael Jordan, and '94
mm-hmm.
they only lost 2 less games.
Yeah, then they added like a number of different players too. Like if you look at the roster wasn't the same.
Tony Kukoc was a rookie.
Sure.
Nobody knew what his impact was going to be. It mattered. I mean, I ain't gonna say he didn't matter because he was a huge impact on that team. But you would think that team takes more of a step back, and at the time they want him to go.
Yeah, you would definitely think that, and I think that was kind of like an outlier. Like when you look at it wasn't they added. I don't have the exact numbers right now, but they added a number of other players. I'm not saying that they were like on par with Jordan, but when Jordan's impact was just the same thing as you could say with a lot of other players. When they added, it's not like when you're talking about say LeBron leaving in 2015, right?
Okay.
Or Like it was like a lot of different players with him. More like when he went with he left the Cavs again, like, and they just tanked. Like, and you saw a lot of like players were like on 1-year deals, and like players like leaving or whatever. And like there was a lot of turnover. There wasn't a lot of turnover with the Bulls roster when he left. It was just him, and they freed up salary space, and like they signed over players. Yes, I don't think it. Like I would have expected them to take a little bit of a step back, more of a step back. Obviously, they didn't win the title, but besides the point, they still made the playoffs. And I think a lot of credit goes to Scottie Pippen. I think he was underrated, and he really took the reins and led that team as far as they went. But I mean,
it was the first year B.J. Armstrong and Horace Grant became All-Stars.
Yeah, exactly. They stepped up. A lot of people stepped up.
Yeah, I think it's something Scotty needed just to get out of that shadow of Michael Jordan did everything, and people saw how great Scotty was, and which in reality helped his career. But then again, we have this LeBron James thing where they try to discredit him going forward.
Oh, Jesus. Here they come.
I think
we got this thing where they want to discredit him.
I think 94 put him in the top 50 all time.
Scotty?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's a top 25 player.
No, what I'm saying is that 94 year actually put him in that. I think he needed that. I think he needed that year for himself. It being a selfish player, I think you wanted to show that you could be strong on the team, and he actually needed that mentally for himself and said, look, this is what I could do if I was leading the team. This is how special I am.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, he's great.
Underrated.
All right. Yeah. All right. So we got Sturdy up in here. Who's gonna start?
Salute everybody. Salute, Go James, salute John, Travis, B Lee, all the other brothers on the panel. Chad, of course.
I didn't even know what Johnny was on.
No. So a few things. One, not just shout out to the U.S. Basketball team for getting the gold medal, but shout out to the great Olympians of the USA team as a whole. We have the most medals as a whole than any other country. I believe we're one shy of gold medal, depending on how today ends. We're one shy of gold medal from China. Every other medal, total silver, bronze, where we blow everybody out the water. So shout out to, and we broke, and since it was either 84 or 86, that this year was the first time since that point where the track and field brought home the most medals out of every other country. So shout out to all the U.S. Olympians in general, and any American who's rooting against any U.S. Olympian, no matter what sport it was, for I don't care if it's Noah Lyles, Sha'Carri Richardson, or LeBron James, you are a weirdo. Turn your citizenship.
We all already know everybody just rooting against LeBron. So nobody's rooting against those guys.
I said any American that root against any U.S. Olympian, whether it's LeBron James, Noah Lyles, or Richardson, you are a weirdo. Turn in your citizenship because you're not a weirdo American.
I'm Serbian.
Second thing is, I do believe LeBron. A lot of people don't know this, right? I do believe LeBron is the Olympic MVP based on the criteria that they set upon. A lot of people don't know this is their third time giving out the Olympic MVP. The first guy that gave it to was Manu Ginobili in 2004. The second one that gave it to was Kevin Durant in 2021. And the third guy that gave it to was LeBron James for this Olympic run. Shout out to all three of those guys. And speaking of Kevin Durant, shout out to Kevin Durant for solidifying himself as arguably the greatest Olympic and FIBA's U.S. Men's basketball player of all time, having the most gold medals, having the most points all time, being top three and four out of the statistical guys all time for men's basketball play. In addition to having two of the top 5 averages for one statistical run, in addition to the fact that he's one of 3 players to have at least 300 points. Shout out to Kevin Durant for all his contributions and arguably having the greatest Olympic and FIBA resume out of anybody who played for men's team USA. Last thing too, in general, it just depends on your criteria, how you want to rank things, right? If you want to count people's amateur and international competition resume, cool. With their NBA resume, that's fine. Just be consistent with every other player in NBA history as well. Second thing is too, it's same thing in regards to awards, whether it be international or NBA. Me personally, I weigh them very little. Like on the simple merit of this, I think on my own. I do my evidence on my own. I research my own. I develop my own thought process on my own. I don't need a group of strangers to tell me how I'm supposed to think. That has to be my opinion. That's just me though. That's why I weigh awards very little, because you're not going to tell me 11 people should dictate my thought process. That's stupid. But nevertheless, last thing too, this needs to be said. Please, there's no anybody that's listening. There's no need to try to downplay a player's teammates, no matter who you talk about, to try to uplift it. No need. Michael Jordan fans do this with Scottie Pippen all the time. Kobe Bryant fans do this with Paul Gasol, and they try to do it with Shaq all the time. LeBron fans do it when they try to do it with his role players and some of the star players that play with him all the time. You do not have to describe a player's teammates to determine how a player great is. That's just facts. So
well, how else are you going to describe how someone's great if you don't compare them to his teammates? That doesn't make any sense.
No. I said you don't have to mention their teammates at all to describe players' greatness. I don't have to mention a single teammate at all.
That's something that you have to do.
No, you don't. I don't have to mention LeBron's greatness at all. I don't have to mention Bosh's name or Kyrie's name at all while I talk about how great LeBron is. I don't. Like, you need to, like, because LeBron did so much on his own. I mean, he contributed so much as an individual player. You don't need to. And be frankly with you, it's irrelevant what a player does before or after that he's on the same team with that player. I never understood that logic of, oh, this player must be greater because this player didn't win nothing before this player. No, because there's other factors, like what was that player was before he got that player? What was that player team like before he got that player on that team? What was that team even like when they both got together? All these variables people like to exclude just to make a player seem better, just perceive a player better than what he really is. When in reality, any championship, any playoff run, it doesn't even get to the playoffs, require a team effort. There is no carry job in a team game. And that's like fan narrative. Fans like to individualize a team. But fans like to individualize team success to a player, and it's never been that way.
But again, that fan narrative started with Zesty Jeffries because they want to make it assume and make everybody believe that Michael Jordan was able to win with scrubs. So it starts with them. So they have to say Scottie sucks, Kerr sucks, Grant sucks, Rodman sucks. But no, Bosh was great. Kyrie was great. Wade was great. That's the way how they do the argument. So that's why
you have to bring it up. So you have to bring it up. If not, Jordan is hands down to go because he did everything on his own.
Yeah, because of the Zesty Jeffrey logic. They are the ones who create all this silly fan narrative. That's why GOAT James Kingdom exists, and that's why every Sunday afternoon we expose all the Zesty Jeffrey lies, bro. That's all that is that you're right.
You have to break it down.
It is a team game. It is a team game. But they always want to try to make it seem like Jordan was better than any team he ever had. And Kobe was better than any team he ever had. When we all know those are lies.
Well, no, bro. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Because I'm one of the few guys up here that's not a fan of a player or team, so I don't care. LeBron fans do it too. B. Lee just mentioned, the Miami Heat didn't win nothing, or they was going through their struggles before LeBron James. What the hell does that have to do with LeBron James run?
That has a lot to do with LeBron James because he's saying he has to have a stacked team to win. It has a lot to do with it because we're all cops. It says it every fucking day on the media. He has to have stacked teams to win. John Stockton just had a damn video talking about he took a helicopter because he taking lottery teams to the finals and winning titles. Like,
well, that's your top point guard. I told y'all how John Stockton is.
It's going to, like, we have to break the shit down so they can understand. And when we break it down so they can understand, it's a problem. That's why we have to break it down. We have to let them know that before LeBron James got there, they couldn't win shit. Before LeBron James got there, they were in the lottery. We have to break it down for them so they can understand. Because if they don't understand it, how are they going to actually realize what happened?
So here's how you break down exactly what happened. You remind them, even though despite the Miami Heat won in 2006, There were different influx of rosters. That's why they would contribute. That's why they wasn't as successful as they were in 2006. Then you tell the whole story by saying, despite LeBron James being great, a multi MVP winner, when he got to that team in 2011, it wasn't the team was not built optimally, and that's the reason why they lost in 2011. The whole story matters, and that's the problem with every fan base. They try to emphasize a certain part without telling the whole story. Jordan said himself, I don't become this great without overcoming the Pistons. But Jordan fans try to loop that. LeBron said to himself, I don't become this great without experiencing that failure in 2011 because for some reason people try to downplay circumstances. When in reality, everything, like y'all say all the time, everything matters when it comes to a legacy of a player. Everything. So I don't believe in this notion. Yeah, that's why I don't believe this notion of. I don't believe this notion of downplaying people's teammate. Just try to uplift another player's perception. I don't believe that.
Hey, Sturdy, I really do get your argument, and I think your argument is fair on his basis. But if we would just argue in a perfect world, arguments would be made just the way you said. We don't have to bring up other players to talk about somebody's greatness. But fair ain't the world we live in. The world we live in is people judge it off other players. And like, again, I understand, hey, you stand 10 toes down on your word, but we have to argue about how the world is, not how we want it to be. And the way we want it to be is the way you argue, but the way it is the way it's being argued.
Charles Barkley just got on TV. Charles Barkley just got on TV saying that USA teams should win by 30 every game because they have the best teams. These dudes do not know what the hell they're talking about. We have to break stuff down for the simple-minded who keep running with these stupid narratives that the USA team should blow out everybody and that LeBron James only takes helicopters to get titles because he has to play with the best team. When in reality, he has rarely ever played with the best team in the NBA. So we have to break it down to him.
And that's why I said, John and B. Lee, that to be honest, and this is a theory of mine, I think it's David Stern's fault why the basketball discourse IQ is so low. Because they try to individualize the game to a degree where it simplifies it to the point they don't even understand nor can recognize the nuances of the sport. There's no other discourse that's this low in other team sports. You never hear no other rhetoric of people saying Joe Montana not like that because he played with Jerry Rice. You don't hear no other rhetoric saying like shit like that.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
Nothing. You only hear that in basketball discourse, and in my opinion, that's because of the market, the market scheme and focus that David Stern turned the league into. And he said in his book that he kind of regrets marketing Jordan the way he did because it kind of individualized the game. What made the 80s so prominent and what brought the game national is because the casual fan, the basketball fan, can relate to that team because that team to them represented where they from and what city they played in. Now you see more player fans than team fans, and when you do so, player fans only give a fuck about how variables that affect that player than opposed to reality and multiple variables that would affect the team.
Do we start caring about stats more than championships then? If that's the case, from an individual perspective?
No. You start everyone, and there's nothing to. I don't care if you're a casual fan. I don't care if you're a player. I don't care if you're a coach. Everyone use stats. Everyone.
What you're saying is not reality. That's the problem.
That is reality.
What you're saying is when you're talking to someone who has the same logic as you. Majority of people do not. When we talk about who's the GOAT, they only list failures for players besides Michael Jordan. So you have to talk about other things because they're only going to dictate the argument on what someone did not do. That's the problem.
No, and that's why I just said. That's why I allude to, Billy. I was alluding to the fact that it's like that because people try to individualize team success with individual players, and that's a horrible way to view a team game.
And they're actually making it worse by adding these new MVPs, like the conference finals MVPs. You make it more of an individual game because you can't tell me that the Eastern Conference MVP ain't splitting Boston more in half because now you got Jaylen Brown being the Eastern Conference MVP and then the Finals MVP, and they trying to split that team up. I mean, it's an individual game, and I just think they're making it worse. It's not getting better.
So Sturdy, I don't think you're gonna find a lot of disagreement in what you're saying. But what you're dismissing is that we have to take the argument as it is. So again, to both what B. Lee was saying, if someone sits here and says all of Jordan's teammates was trash, and you start praising Jordan's teammates, they'll sit here and say stupid shit like he was out there playing 1-on-5. You see what I'm saying? So you have to sit here and that's what I'm saying. No one's downplaying the greatness of Wade, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving. When we sit here and say what was Kevin Love, even though he was a great player, what was he doing in Minnesota before he played with LeBron James? That's not downplaying him. That's telling the truth.
That's downplaying.
Hey, Travis, I knew Travis was going to hold back. He said,
Travis is the reason we started this. Travis is the reason we started this because he's downplaying what LeBron James did. Travis is the reason for this.
No, I'm about to man. The reason why that's a downplay because
everybody up here believes Tracy McGrady's a great player, right? Tracy McGrady's a great player, correct? What did he do in the playoffs? Hall of Famer. What did he do in the playoffs? He didn't have a lot of success in the playoffs. That's not me downplaying him. That's me telling his story. So I can't.
No, that's you telling part of his story.
Hold up. Let me finish. There's a difference between downplaying and telling the truth about a player. Downplaying is saying Jordan's teammates sucked. It is not downplaying to sit here and say Kyrie Irving didn't make the playoffs until LeBron James got back on that team. That's not downplaying. That's a factual statement.
You're right, Twin. What if I said to you, okay, it's not downplaying to say LeBron James came in and missed the playoffs his first 2 years, but with no context, I didn't add anything. I didn't say anything about his team.
He did. That's not even an issue. He did.
Even though he did. He was clearly the best player both years on that team.
That's not downplaying. You're telling the truth of his career.
I'm telling the truth, but that's not a reflection on him as a player.
Right, but the point is when people. The way Sturdy tried to word, he's like, you're downplaying the player. No, it's not downplaying the player to tell what actually happened in their career. If you say LeBron James didn't make the playoffs his first 2 years, that's not a lie. That's the truth.
LeBron choked in 2011.
It doesn't go against his greatness though. They'll try, but see, you don't try to put it against his greatness. T Perfect. Other people do. Do you see what I'm saying?
We don't talk to those people.
Yes, we do. All the
time. They are the loudest. They're the loudest. That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. Just because something existed before and it's stupid, don't mean you continue to be and entertain the stupidity. When I have hundreds of conversations with different fan bases, hundreds of conversations with different people about certain players or teams, I always tell them the same shit. Or I just do the same thing. I completely ignore when people try to bring up variables that has nothing to do with a fucking player. Ask Mike Def, when you try to bring up teammates and competition, I'm like, that has shit to do with how great a player is. You know why? Because great players are great with poor teammates or bad teammates. Because they're great. So when people, here's how it's downplayed. When you mention Kevin Love or Kyrie never made the playoffs before LeBron, without mentioning the fact that what they did as individual players, omitting that part is a downplay. And most importantly, bringing it up in a part.
There's no point to mention that. There's no point to mention that. There's no point to mention that, though.
That's the point.
That's the point to mention that, though.
That's the point. No, Beasley, that's the point. There's no point of mentioning it.
You're talking to people up here who understands Kevin Love's a great player. You're talking to people who understand Kyrie Irving's a great player. We're sitting here saying the catalyst for their success on a team was LeBron James.
There's nothing wrong with disingenuous. That's disingenuous.
In 2010, didn't the Miami Heat make the playoffs?
Because LeBron is not the only player he played with. LeBron was not the only player that went to the Cavaliers in 2015. LeBron was not the only player. Like, bro, people. That's the disingenuous. You say one player. No, you just said it. You said one player. LeBron James was the catalyst to his success.
The catalyst for them to
LeBron James is a common denominator.
Kyrie didn't have any playoff success or any playoff experience.
Actually, James Jones believe. But whatever.
LeBron James is a common denominator.
It's actually James Jones. James Jones with them all those state finals.
LeBron James is a common denominator. LeBron James, the common
Nobody's
denominator.
gonna say nobody's better than LeBron James. We know he's the
Why
catalyst.
isn't James Jones a common denominator too? That's a fact.
He garbage.
He was there for 8 straight finals too.
Yeah,
Why is that? Why is that being ignored?
That's the reason why LeBron gets discredited, because people say things just like that. James Jones is one of the common denominators.
No,
we all know he's not. We all know he's not. We all know he's not.
No, he is.
We all know
that is
he's
a
not.
fact. No,
We all know he's
fact.
not.
That's not a feeling.
That's a fact that he played on the team. That's the only fact that he played on the team. That's the only fact that he played on the team.
Okay, no, exactly. So a common denominator is that's another thing too. People disrespect players' contributions because they're not putting
No
up
one's
30
disrespecting
25.
anybody. No one's disrespecting. The only person getting disrespected is LeBron James. That's the only person getting disrespected is LeBron James.
How's he getting disrespected right now?
For instance, when I first said LeBron James, Michael Jordan has the most Finals MVPs at 6. Like that's one of the top things. And LeBron James also is one of the only player to won Finals MVPs for 3 different franchises. And the first thing Travis said is because he constructed teams to win those titles. Like right there, that's what started. That's what started. And then he said that Chris Bosh was a top 10 player, which he was not. Chris Bosh made a second team All-NBA, only one All-NBA team his whole career, and 3 years prior, then joining Miami, he didn't make the playoffs twice. Chris Bosh was not a top 10 player. And then he went to say how Kevin Love's a top 10 player when he wasn't, because he's tipping in a lot of misses. So they started with this. LeBron James had all this help to win teams. So
That's the worst thing I've ever heard from you,
understand. Simple as that.
Bomb take right there.
Well,
You have to break it down.
really, I just want to understand this. And what people try to do, they try to take awards and try to make them what they're not. Making an All-NBA team does not prove your ranking amongst your peers.
Hey, Sturdy, hold on, Sturdy. Before you go, stop saying people. Stop saying basketball fans. Say who it is. The Zesty Jeffries. Say them.
No. Okay,
They have been identified.
Okay,
They've
you're
been
right.
cataloged, and they have
Okay.
marked. They have to be called out at every turn when we're talking basketball, because what you're talking about is what they are doing, not what basketball fans are doing. Because we already told you, Zesty Jeffries don't watch the games. They just create narratives to keep Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan's name alive. That's all they do. So call them out. Say Zesty Jeffries, say Zesty offenders, but don't say people or basketball fans, because it's not us, it's them.
Okay. So let me correct. Johnny, let me correct myself.
Pretty sure B. Lee isn't a Jesse Jeffrey.
LeBron, hold on, let me correct myself. Hold on, Travis, because Johnny made a great point. I think we need to be more precise, not just speaking general knowledge. LeBron fans, Kobe fans, and Jordan fans, majority of you guys are becoming a monolith. Majority of you guys are using tactics to disrespect other players to try to uplift those 3 dudes.
Why you gotta put me in this shit? Why you gotta throw me in this shit, bro? Why you throw me in there? Why you throw us LeBron fans in there? Why you gotta do that?
No, because like I said, Johnny, LeBron fans, majority of LeBron, I don't just talk to Jordan fans, I don't just talk to Kobe fans, I talk to fans of whoever want to have the conversation about the sport I want to talk about.
Yo, downplaying
I know it's a common thing. All 3 of those common fan bases downplay rosters to some degree. All 3 of those common fan bases downplay coaches to some degree. All 3 of those fan bases make it seem
All
like
right. Oh, we understand. We're not talking about those fan base. I was addressing Travis, and you're trying to address the things that I say. So let's just forget about all these fan bases stuff, and let's just address what we need to address.
Okay, so thank
your
you.
Miami Heat roster was nice.
Back to adjustment. You guys had a stream. No, you guys had a stream alone, right? That name, but when y'all was talking about the 2011 Heat, names alone on the paper do not determine how great a team is going to be. There's other things that matter. Johnny mentioned role players, the team structure, the team scheme, the coaching philosophy. All these things come to fact to team success. So when Travis replied with a troll joke by saying he constructed all those rosters, that's in you saying that LeBron James is the catalyst to everything. Because like I just said right now, B. Lee, there's a fact in saying, well, my definition of competent nowadays, just to be fair, is a person that was there for majority success that contributed. So if it's a fact to say on top of LeBron James, James Jones was a competent nominated too, that's not downplaying LeBron. That's just pointing out another fact.
It is down. Hold on, James Jones.
That
Come
actually is
on, that
down
we
for
you can't mention James
That's
Jones in this
how.
conversation.
Jones. You
The
killed your whole
the
argument.
only role player on
Mention
a
James Jones,
dynasty
kill
you
your
can
whole
mention
argument.
is Robert Ory, bro. Like he at least he
What
played
you
as
talking
an
about?
X factor
Mike
on
Epps,
his
Robert Horry's
championship
the
teams. You
top five
can't
player
mention
of all
James
time.
Jones in this
No,
conversation.
because Mac Dep, you don't respect what James Jones
Hey,
contributed.
hold on, hold
You
on,
don't
hold on, hold on.
respect
I
We're
what.
gonna
re- yeah, I
hold on.
don't. I
Wait,
don't.
we're
Not
gonna
me.
have a real
It's
panel here,
facts.
gentlemen.
I
We're gonna have a real panel, gentlemen. Everybody take their time to speak, please. Do not overtalk. Don't jump in. Do not interject. Take your time. Brandon will let everybody know when it's your time to speak. Please be patient. Please, y'all. Let's have a good panel today, please.
So
Do
that's the
something,
thing.
man.
Just because, and I'm just landing with this, it's not disrespect to LeBron James to bring up
Hold on,
James
Sturdy.
Jones
Hold on,
because
Sturdy. It wasn't your turn,
oh,
Sturdy. It wasn't your turn. Somebody else wanted to speak, and
I'm my bad, my
there's
bad.
some
That was
folks
So
here that
B
want
Lee
to
was
get some turns.
not there.
Let's hear some turn. Go ahead, Mac. You were trying to say something, Mac. Go, Mac.
Mac Def, yeah.
Nah. So to Sturdy's point, he was mentioned James Jones like as a catalyst or a role player, but I don't see James
I didn't
Jones's
say none of that.
impact on
I
these
didn't say that.
championship teams. That's just me. When I look at because I do take everything in accountability as far as teammates in competition who you played. So I think Shaq and Akeem Olajuwon are great. He's got more championships than Akeem Olajuwon. But I'm taking in the fact that Akeem Olajuwon played with trash rosters, and then when he won without an All Star player in '94 and did what he did, and then won the next year, beating Shaq. In my all time rankings, I take that in accountability, and I'm gonna take Shaq over. I'm gonna take Akeem over Shaq.
As you should.
That's what I look. That's what I look at.
I believe that's
So
disingenuous.
when we look at these Miami Heat rosters, and let's just say we're looking at the all-time teams of all time. I'm talking about his championship teams, 2012 and 2013. I think these were one of the most talented rosters ever, at least especially in that era. He played in the weak Eastern Conference, but we don't see the dynasties. We don't see the 70 wins. I think the most wins they got was 66. And I'm telling people in the chat, well, the Warriors won 67 in 2015. They don't have an all-time great playoff run going like 16-1 or 15-2, stuff like that. So it's not that the roster was weak is the reason they didn't have an all-time top 10 team. They did have a great roster. They just underachieved as far as greatness goes. That's what I'm saying. But he had
They
the
were just
talent to
top
do it.
heavy. They were definitely top heavy. Top heavy. It's a team
Come
game.
on.
That's
In,
why they struggled through in the playoffs
in
because they didn't
94,
have
how many
the team pieces.
in
So
94, how many all-stars did New York Knicks have? One, correct?
and win
Patrick Ewing. Patrick
Okay.
Ewing.
in the
I
I don't
'90s,
feel
think
yeah.
John, I don't think
yeah,
John Starks made it.
so I think
John Starks never made it. I think there was the year Oak made it.
I think
Okay.
Houston played a team equivalent to them in 94.
Okay.
I mean, I'm going against the point you was making. I mean, and then the next year he did get an all-star in Clyde Drexler.
So if Patrick Ewing would have won, that changes his narrative. But again, head to head, he lost, and then we know what Akeem did those 2 seasons as far as beating the best centers at his position and the best players. I mean, the only player in that era that he didn't beat was Michael Jordan in the playoffs. So it's a thin line, and that's why I said with the roster construction, if you win with less than a guy who has a super team and you losing, I'm gonna take the guy who actually won with less because I
Who
know
won?
if he had a super team, he would dominate.
Who won with
Who won
less?
A
with
What
la
are
less?
we
Steph
talking about?
Curry.
Who had the
Curry
super
didn't
team?
have a super team.
So
No, he
King can
did
have
have
a
a
super
super
team
team.
in
That's why
'96.
it's the greatest team of all time. But when he has Andrew Wiggins as a second best player, they win a championship.
Well,
I
And
shit, we
he
mean,
got
had
more
more
So
time
you
than
would take
Draymond
Curry over
Bell.
LeBron.
So did the
I'm
King
trying
have
to
a super
figure
team
out
in
who won
'96?
with less.
so
I
He
mean,
so
said he just gave an answer. He just gave an answer.
when LeBron, because y'all saying LeBron took trash teams to the finals, which he did 07 and 2018. You guys say that he could take a lottery team to the playoffs. Uh,
I said
okay,
he
so
joined a lottery team. He joined
yeah,
2 lottery teams, which was true. And the second
what
year he
two
won the
lottery
title.
teams? The
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 Cleveland
Cavs and the
Cavaliers
Lakers.
was in the lottery for 4 years, and the Lakers was in the lottery for 6 years.
Okay. So in 2020, when KD wasn't there, Klay Thompson missed the whole season because of ACL, and Steph Curry missed the whole season. The Warriors were the worst team in the NBA, 15-50. They didn't add no superstars or anybody. They added Andrew Wiggins in 2021. They
Okay.
lose in the play-in, right? They lose in the play-in, and Steph Curry just says you don't want to see us next year. Their biggest off-season acquisition was Otto Porter Jr.
I
and
don't,
they go on and
I
win a
don't think
championship.
you actually watched that season to say that. I don't think you watched that season to say wherever you're saying.
2021 season or 2022 season?
It was clearly they had the same team that was hurt. Draymond Green and Klay Thompson was still on that team.
Correct. They were a trash team in 2020.
They were not a trash team. They were an injured team. That's completely different. They still had the same pieces. They were injured.
The roster was completely different.
Actually, McDuff, there's only 3 different people changed when it came to that team to the next team. They had the same pieces, just like Lee Lucy.
No, they didn't.
Part of their success,
They did not have a trash team.
they got more healthy. Remember, Klay Thompson missed the whole year. He came back the next year.
So in 2021, what does their roster look like?
They still have McDuff. They still have Gary Payton Jr. The only major difference
Gary
is
Payton Jr.
Yeah, key role players. I know niggas don't like key role players,
What?
but
Okay,
yes, I'm just answering your
what
question.
all-star? See, this is what I'm saying. This is why LeBron and GOAT James Kingdom. Hold on. This is why GOAT James Kingdom uses the accolades to specify what they're saying. What all-star or all-NBA teammate did Steph Curry have in 2021?
Wait, Magda, to answer your question, can I just
changing the question?
Can I just defer to Blue?
No, because y'all trying to act like this roster was great.
I think Travis trying to say something.
Blue Bull, help us.
What up? What up? What up? What's going on? What's going on?
We're talking about Magic Johnson and his ranking overall. That's what we've been talking about the whole show.
Magic
Wait,
Johnson.
Travis, what?
Magic Johnson.
That's crazy.
No. I
changed the
came
whole
up here.
This is petty, bro.
No. What up?
Blue Bull, you don't want the nonsense that we're talking about. We're just talking about bullshit that has nothing to do with it.
Right. But I came up here to.
All right, guys. We gotta read Reggie Red's super chat first before we can move on. Before we start with you, Blue Vote. Said, can y'all stop? We have 42 years to evaluate LeBron James. Most people have him 2 or 3. Nothing's wrong with that, but stop evaluating him. Well, elevating him. I mean, stop elevating him. No one's elevating the GOAT. He is where he's at. Right at the top. All right, go ahead, Blue Vote.
Blue Boat.
Yeah, I'm here.
It's on you, bro.
Oh, okay. I was, what's going on, fellas? Couple of things I wanted to challenge with a couple of things. In particular, this whole thing, with Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron fans, right? You know what I mean? And I study my guy and everything. But I gotta challenge that notion that it's all 3 fan bases, because I don't hear LeBron fans, downgrading their teammates like Kobe fans did Shaq. Kobe fans did Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, Smush Parker, Andrew Bynum, and all that stuff. And Jordan fans, they don't like Scottie Pippen now. They don't respect Scottie Pippen now. You know what I mean? They think he was just there for the long ride and everything. And Jordan was the guy that anchored him. But like I said, man, it's like, to some extent, LeBron fans can get out of hand. But I think, to me, and this is coming from me, I'm a Jordan guy. I got him as the GOAT, you know what I mean? But LeBron is 1A for me. But then again, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, it's Kobe and Mike fans are the worst, because they act like their teammates don't matter. It was 1-on-5 basketball, you know what I mean? Just like yesterday. People were saying Steph Curry was the MVP because he had 2 breakout games, right? Before that, he was nowhere to be found. I mean, I can understand if somebody said Kevin Durant, But LeBron James was the guy that set the tone from start to finish. You know what I mean? All around game. And people get enamored with all this scoring crap, right? It's more than basketball than just scoring the basketball. You know what I mean? You could be clutch playing defense. You could be clutch with an assist. You could be clutch getting a rebound. You know, very little assets in the game, man. People are more casual fans out here than actual basketball fans. And this is where most of these Kobe, Jordan, and you got some casual LeBron fans too. I ain't gonna lie. You got some. But
It's
you know, it just seems like
every fan base.
The real crime is the real crime is that Blue Bolt is only going to be heard like once a week. We need like 2 or 3 instances of Blue Bolt every week.
Oh yeah, I just be running around, fellas, man. Y'all got a busy life,
All right.
man,
Let's get sports talk in there because I skipped you and went to Blue Bolt. My bad.
No, but I was listening to the conversation, and what Sturdy was missing was that there was context to what you were saying, Brandon, because you were like, Travis was like, I think he said Bosh and Love were top 10 in the NBA for LeBron, before they joined LeBron. And then that's when, you know, you kind of rebutted and were saying what you were saying about the playoffs and all that. So I just think that he was missing the context behind that. And we were in the comment, I was in the comments like talking to him about it, and I was saying that, you know, they weren't top 10. That's why you were saying what you were saying. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but sports talk, because it was just to me. What was the reasons why B Lee said they weren't top 10?
He said that's why he asked were they in the playoffs, is what I'm saying. And then you were in the comments talking about. But
any other reasons why he said they weren't?
Basically, it was easy for LeBron James to win because he had another top 10 player in Chris Bosh next to him.
Yeah, but what was your reasons why you did not believe Chris Bosh or Kevin Love were top 10 players? What was the reason why you stated?
Because there's 9 other players better than them.
No, that's not what B. said. That's not what B. said. That's not what B. said. What did B. say? Y'all can rewind the tape if y'all want. Like, that's a feature on YouTube. You know that, right?
Oh, but I was just saying there was the context behind it, is what I was saying.
Yeah,
so y'all probably do need to do a stream on if Chris Bosh and Kevin Love were top 10 players, because that'd be like one of the most bullshit that be coming out of Jordan fans' mouth. None of them niggas were top 10 at any point in their career.
I know
I was saying Chris Bosh was the top 10 player because he couldn't lead his team to the playoffs. That's why
that's a huge part of it. Playoff success is a huge part of it. If you're not making the playoffs and you're always getting washed in the first round, how are you top 10?
Sturdy. What I'm saying is you tried to loop it all in together as though Brandon was just downgrading his teammates. He was saying that they weren't top 10. Now you're saying what reason did he get?
Yes, that matters.
Okay. That's why I'm saying he brought up them not making the playoffs. That's what he was saying. Now, I don't know all of his reasoning behind them not being top 10. I'm saying that's why he brought it up. And when you were in the comments saying what you were saying, I'm saying you just looped it all in together as though he was just downgrading his teammates. That's what I'm saying.
The reason why I say he was downgrading his teammates because the other reason why he said that he won top 10 was mentioning the All-NBA awards. First of all, team success has nothing to do how great you are as a player.
I didn't mention that until later. I didn't mention that. At that moment, I said he could not lead his team to the playoffs. That's why he wasn't a top 10 player.
Okay, so
that's what
once
I said
again,
afterwards.
Team success has nothing to do how great you are as a player. And I noticed too, and the other comments I was going throughout the section, these one of the few occasions where they don't bring up stats or production or impact in regards to describing how great those players was. That's why I said is disingenuous and kind of downplaying because you're focused on primarily team success. That's why I said that.
I do think being in getting to the playoffs should matter a little bit, and because your one player's strong impact on the team in the NBA, one player can really change a franchise around. And if you're a top 10 player and you can't get your team in the playoffs, are you really?
And that's supposedly in the weak East. Both Wade and Bosh couldn't make the playoffs in the weak East, apparently.
No, we're talking about Kevin Love too. We're talking about Kevin Love too. Talking about
Yeah,
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love's in the West. So, but
All
I
right.
mean,
If we want to go through the 2010, and if he's a top 10 player, we could go through those players. I could name 9 players, 10 players that was better than Bosch too. I'm pretty sure.
That's better than just saying.
Yeah, I'm
That's
pretty
better
sure
than
you
just
can as
saying
well.
team success. That's better than just saying team success.
Kevin
Steph
Love.
Curry didn't make the playoffs this year, but most people, everybody on this panel got him a top 10 player.
So who?
But what if he judged players? What if he judged players differently than you do? What if he judged players differently than you do?
Listen,
I understand how you would judge it, but what if Brandon does really judge people differently than you do, and he looks at it differently?
Exactly.
But what if he just gave you
John,
what if he gave you reasons? Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. Because John, like I'm a member. I listen to this content multiple times. B League rarely goes to just team success to determine how great a player was. He rarely goes to team success to determine the rank of a player. He rarely does that. That's why I pointed that out.
Okay, do you want me to name?
Bosh was a top 10 player. That's all. I just said Chris Bosh was a top 10 player at that time.
Love too.
One thing I don't understand is why does LeBron get so much flack for playing with a top 10 player when both Jordan and Kobe did that, and Magic as well?
No, Kobe gets a lot of
all these guys have played with top 10 players in the league at the same time.
I mean,
we can't talk about Kobe's legacy without.
But Kobe played with Shaq for 7 years, man. That's off the chain.
But what's the context of all this?
That's the point. Kobe for some reason gets punished for that. He shouldn't. No player should.
No player should. Exactly.
But why is it? But hold on.
The Finals MVP.
LeBron gets punished. Wait a minute. LeBron gets punished way more than Kobe does. Way more than Kobe does. Who agree with that?
That's the problem.
Because
what's the reason for that?
If we're talking title runs, Kobe and Magic had the most help in NBA history.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And I don't know.
Only really LeBron and slightly Curry and Durant get that flack for playing with another top 10 player. Those are like the only 3 players.
KD gets way more criticism. Way more criticism.
I don't think he gets more criticism than LeBron does, but I definitely think that he's second place when it comes to like criticism for playing with another top 10 player.
He gets ignored. He gets ignored.
The only people that really shit on KD are the LeBron fans and like some NBA fans that were just like, bro, you like literally ruined the whole league for everybody. Like if you're one of those type of fans, then like, yeah, I can see you hating on KD, but LeBron just has way more haters than any of these niggas, man. So like people are still calling Miami a super team in 2011. Like that shit's off the chain.
Take this.
They were not a super team in 2011.
Wait a minute. They called the Cavs in 2015 and 2016 a super team. I can understand Miami. I understand. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. I can understand Miami a little bit. To be fair. But were they as good as the 2017 Warriors? I don't think so.
What are you talking about? Matthew Dellavedova was like a top 5 player for like 10 years in the league. And like,
see, it's really 20. If you said 2012 and 2013 were super teams for Miami, I would not argue with you. But like that 2011 season, they were not a super team.
Oh yeah, that 2011, they were top. That's when they were top heavy. Now that's when
like they were literally losing to all of the best teams in the regular season. Like they were not winning.
Outside of maybe one or two
vintage LeBron and D Wade performances where they beat a good team, but like everybody looks at shit in hindsight. You got to really watch that season. They were losing to all the best teams, all the top 5 teams. They had losing records.
New world. Here's the thing. New world. My fault. I'm just saying. Well, let me make my point. Here's the thing, New World. But they don't see that. All they see is the names on the jersey. You know what I mean? If you really take a look, you're right. You really take a look at that team in 2011. They were top heavy like crazy. I mean, Dallas had their number when you think about it. Now, granted, LeBron played bad. LeBron paid bad. There's no excuse for that. That's a blemish. You can't.
Yeah, I wasn't bringing that up to make an excuse for LeBron. I'd just be like, y'all really need to understand and put context on that 2011 team.
But people really don't put context, and they don't really understand the game. That Dallas team was a veteran team. Was a good veteran team. That
was the best team in the NBA that year. They beat everybody.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Miami lost to Dallas every time they met up in the regular season in 2011.
Dallas swept them in the regular season.
That should have been an indicator. Then, like, people don't understand that shit. Like, they were dominant all year. People act like that was just a trash roster that he lost to.
Here's the thing. The only reason they didn't have the best record in the West because Dirk missed like a month and a half with a knee injury, right?
Oh, yep. You see, people ain't remember that either.
So
it was 40. But it's fine.
My question is, so what is New World? So what to your opinion, what is a super team? Because go ahead, yeah, what is a super team?
Look, a super team is not just dependent on your top heavy players, it's the whole team. When you look at the Celtics, they're a super team because they have star role players. Not necessarily meaning that they're all stars, but they have role players that show up when they need to. They're consistent and they can make spectacular plays down the stretch for their team that results in winning games. When you look at other teams, look at the Dallas Mavericks team that just went up against the Celtics in the finals. Their role players were not getting it done outside of just their superstar players, Kyrie and Luka. You know, their role players were not making shots. They were not getting good defensive plays. They weren't really doing much of anything down the stretch. And when you have that complete package, I mean, a good coach as well, obviously, because, you know, I think the coach's position is really underrated. Like, having a good coach and having a bad coach could just really decide a series, even if your team might be more talented. Like, if you got out coached, you got out coached. So, you know, I think it's just a multitude of factors instead of just focusing on the 2 or 3 best players on a team. Because you look at that Nets team with KD, Kyrie, and James Harden, that wasn't really a super team either because they were top heavy as fuck. They didn't have a bench, and their defense was trash. Like, they had one of the worst defenses in the league that year, even though they had one of the best offensive ratings. So they were beating teams purely off of offense in the regular season, but when it got to the playoffs,
that's not true.
They just fell apart.
That's not true. Unfortunately, that's not true. They did have depth, and their defense wasn't as bad for that first year iteration that you're referring to. It's actually to your point. It's actually to your point. Those key role players did step up in some key games. Like, people forget that game 5 that KD had, I believe he had like 40-point triple-double, something like that. Jeff Green also hit like 5 threes. Jeff Green.
Yeah, but Jeff Green is an exception because he's been to the finals multiple times. Like, he's been on deep playoff runs multiple times.
I'm just using the definition. At that stage of his career, Jeff Green was definitely a role player, and he had he stepped up in key moments.
Yeah, he was.
I'm just using the definition. And
but I'm just saying
my follow-up question to you.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you consider the 2014 Spurs as a super team?
They're borderline a super team. Borderline. They were pretty dominant that year, and in the fashion that they had beat the Miami Heat in the finals. You know, I don't like my hesitancy in saying that that's a super team is they weren't able to replicate that for another year. And, you know, they were shooting the lights out at like a historic clip. Like that's not sustainable. Like, if they were able to do that for a large portion of the year, then I would call them a super team. But like, I feel like that was like one of those situations where like everybody just played lights out for a 4 or 5 game stretch.
No, it wasn't just that series. If you go back to that regular season, they had the best record in the league, and that regular season, they're one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the league. And go by the tracking stats, they're one of the best ball moving teams in the league for the playoffs and the regular season.
I think they led the league in assists that year, right, Sturdy?
Did they?
Definitely up there.
Yeah,
if they did, then that would technically count as a super team. Yeah, that would count as a super team.
The 2014 Spurs are a super team.
Can we put something to bed real fast? There's no such thing as a super team.
Thank you. That's just about to say that.
Real quick, please let me finish. There's no such thing as a super team. Literally, going back to Sturdy's point, that term was created to downgrade one player. Let's be real here.
Because the super team didn't exist before 2011, so.
Right. There's no such thing as a super team. There's just really isn't.
Yeah, that terminology didn't exist. Like, you know, we just called them great teams or all-time great teams. That was exactly.
But by that logic, the Detroit Pistons, the Detroit Pistons was a super team.
Yeah, it's an all-time great team.
Like the
All-time
Detroit
greatest.
Pistons that went to the conference
Some
finals
of the
5 years in a
04.
row with a super team. Like we need to stop. There was no such thing. These are terms made up. Like the finals record that magically materialized out of nowhere. All of these things were invented, to Sturdy's point, to downgrade one player's career. That's why I don't dibble and dabble in super teams. These players today have the freedom of movement because they have the ability to take their careers in their own hands. They're not loyal to these franchises the way the past teams were, well, the past players were, because they don't have to be.
No, past teams weren't necessarily loyal. They just had no choice. I mean, you look at the situation with Scottie Pippen and the Bulls. You know, you could definitely say Scottie wasn't loyal to the Bulls franchise. Like they hold that nigga out of so much money that he should have been getting.
But here's the thing.
Let's let Twin Man finish cooking. Let's let him finish.
So that's what I've always asked people, especially when we're talking basketball. Where did final record come from? Because I never heard any of this until recently. Where did the term super team came from, and what constitutes a super team? Because if you're talking about
the finals record,
3 great players on a team, they were doing that back in the 80s.
60s.
So Twin Man, the finals record.
That's what I'm saying.
The earliest I could find.
Super team.
No, the earliest I could find someone, the mainstream media mentioned finals record was Jerry West, but they didn't weaponize it like they did for LeBron. And same thing for Will Chamberlain. They didn't weaponize it like they did for LeBron.
True. That is true.
Weaponize it. They didn't mention it, but they didn't weaponize it.
30. Now, you did the research. I'm going to be honest. I never heard of anything about a finals record until LeBron James lost in 2007. I'm being real.
No, yeah. You didn't hear a weaponized like that, because back then when they described players of the mainstream media, they just emphasized on one negative part of the game. Except for Will. They were hating on Will forever. But they didn't just emphasize on one negative part of their game. They try to give the whole package. That's why I said it was mentioned, but it was weaponized.
Didn't hear the term super team until 2011, and we had a so-called super
that's facts.
2008. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, all this shit is made up, to your point, to downgrade one player, and we need to stop perpetuating that bullshit.
And don't you think? Oh, go ahead. And don't you think some of the players in the '90s are kind of hypocrites? Because I take Charles Barkley for example. He said he respects players that stand on their grind, but yet he got traded could trade like 3 times. So.
Well, I mean, with 90s players, you can't really listen to what they say when they bring that shit up because it's disingenuous. A lot of them didn't have this. They simply didn't have the ability to leave. If those niggas could leave and go team up with Jordan and go get a three-peat ring, they would do it. All of them would do it. But the thing is, they were not able to. They did not have the ability to do so.
They were locked in.
Barkley tried.
Their contracts were like 5, 6, 7, 10 years. Like it wasn't like it is today, where you could sign a 2-year or a 4-year deal. They were locked in.
And that's what I was about to get at. Like, these guys were like, they took like big long-term deals, you know what I mean, just because of the market they were in, you know what I mean? And, you know, back then it's like endorsers were like, they had some Nike commercials, but they didn't have the access stuff like they do now. So it's just Nike and that was it. Commercials.
Yeah, that's why John Stockton is a clown for saying what he said. I'm just like, bro, you ain't win nothing, so how can you talk about winning in any capacity?
Would you think it's harder to stay on a team, a franchise for 15, 20 years?
Sturdy, he's a top 3 point guard.
Come on, Sturdy. I agree with you now. John Stockton's not a top 5 point guard.
You will know.
Just because he said that stupid shit, I'm like, all right, bro, you didn't officially lost your card, bro.
That was only top 3.
That's crazy.
Sturdy, give us the reason why John Stockton not a top 5 point guard.
Simply put,
I co-sign everything he's saying right now.
There's at least 7 to 6 point guards greater and better than him. When you talk about impact towards winning, he does not have more bigger impact or greater impact than at least 6 to 7 point guards. From a winning standpoint, like you so much, he has a losing record in the playoffs. He hasn't won shit. The only thing he has won is the gold medal. He even went to college. The only thing this dude has won is a fucking all-star game and a gold medal.
A gold medal that should belong to Zeke.
For the casual fans that value accolades, he never won an MVP. Never came close to winning an MVP. And for those who value impact in terms of value for your team, he was never the best player on his team. The only time he was the best player on the team when Carmelo went to the Lakers. That's it. That's the only time we
But,
work on
but,
I
but,
was one of those.
but,
I was one of those
earlier,
guys that had Stockton top
but
five.
did you say players have to, we have to evaluate players on what they did on the court, like their stats?
Yes.
Like would
Yeah. No.
John
So yeah,
Stockton's
that's
stats put him top five?
no, absolutely not. Because based on my criteria, I do it by this league, D League: 30% production and impact, 30% longevity, 30% what you do in the playoffs, and then that 10% of accolades. So John Stockton have excellent longevity, but he has excellent production. But his impact towards winning, in my opinion, in terms of comparison to the pantheon of great players, not high. In comparison to
I want to ask a question
in
real
comparison
quick.
to the playoffs, his playoffs,
Since we're going point guards,
especially in key games, regress for the most part.
Sturdy, we're going to debate on this sometime.
Who are the other 5 to 6 players above him?
Okay, so you got Magic. Yeah, let's get the options out the way. You got Magic, Oscar, Magic, Oscar, Curry, West, and Oscar Robinson. What's wrong with Oscar Robinson, Travis? You don't like Oscar Robinson?
Okay.
He's perfect.
Okay, so okay, Magic, Oscar, Curry, West. Steve is greater than him. Jason Kidd is greater than him. And and Walt Frazier is greater than him.
I mean, a lot of those. Yeah, some of those players was not the best player when they actually won their title.
I didn't say nothing about winning. I ain't say about having being the best player when he won the title.
But you're saying that like John Stockton was like never the best player on his team. He never led like most of those players when they was like winning, they wasn't the best player on their team though.
But Billy, I didn't say nothing about leading a team to a championship. I didn't say that phrase that come out of my mouth at once, not one time. I said he didn't win shit. That's why I did say.
I mean, winning is. I'll just figure winning. You mean you win a title?
I'm giving you. For me, I go off your impact towards winning. But I was just breaking down different casual fan bases of different arguments of why they try to justify John Stockton being top 5 point guard. And he doesn't. Outside of longevity, I don't see why this dude is in consideration for top 5 point guard.
Impact towards winning.
Let's let Blue Vote get his last word in, and then we could get back to this John Stockton. I actually want to know why. All right,
I want to ask a question for everybody, right? Who's the best point guard out of these 3? How would you rank them? Kevin Johnson, Jason Kidd, and Steve Nash. Who's the third point guard? Who's the third best point guard?
Kevin Johnson.
Easily.
Yes.
Kevin Johnson.
Nash and Kidd.
The worst. He's getting cut.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's Kidd, Nash, then Kate.
From an accolade standpoint, you got to cut Kevin Johnson. But
Nash was better in every measurable.
From a player standpoint, nigga, you got to cut Kevin Johnson. Ain't no accolades.
I don't know. 23 and 13 is nice. I don't know. 23 and 13 is nice.
For 1 year.
You can cut Kevin Johnson because actually
Kidd was the best. Kidd was like a top 3 defensive point guard of all time.
Yeah.
Like he clears.
Right.
No, Jason Kidd is the best by far out of those 3.
But here's the thing about Kevin Johnson, though. Even though he was great, he didn't win no MVP or anything like that, and he didn't. He didn't got no accolades like the next 2. You know what I mean? I wasn't a big Steve Nash fan, but I got to call it like I see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Steve Nash is very underrated because he got them 2 MVPs.
Nash and Jason Kidd, bro. Kind of disrespectful, to be honest.
Well, no, anybody who has a 50-49 season.
Kevin Johnson was him.
Respect him.
Kevin Johnson is a better scorer than Jason Kidd and Steve Nash.
I disagree with that.
No, I can't go with that.
I disagree with that.
Is a better scorer.
He's gonna go with 1 year. He will average.
This is what I'm talking about with the scoring thing.
No, I'm going with playoffs.
Brandon, I see the stubbles coming in nicely there.
Oh, my bad.
You realize for a point guard, like even back then, if your point guard was putting up buckets like that, it was kind of like a bad thing. Could Steve Nash fill up the bucket? Yes, but he was supposed to facilitate the offense. That's the most important role for a point guard.
Steve Nash could easily be top 5 and made 3-pointers if he was actually shooting them. Like he's one of the best 3-point shooters in the 2000s.
He one of the best shooters.
Hammer.
One of the best shooters, period.
One of the best shooters. And people forget. Them years with the Dallas Mavericks, he was doing work too. Steve Nash before he went to the Suns. You know?
Exactly.
Well, Hammer, what are we using? What criteria are we using to say that Stockton's not a top 10 point guard? Are we using Are we using
I
like
say top 10. I did not say top 10.
titles?
Top 5.
Are we using
I
advanced
said top
metrics?
5.
Are we using overall averages? Are we using totals? By every single measurable, like he's at least a top 5 point guard. But aside from what championships, he led his team to
He ain't got
by
no
far the most
championship
durable
or
player in
MVP.
history.
Winning.
Well,
Okay, yeah, let's
I've
go ahead
always
and get
had
this.
I've
I said
always
impact
had
was
John
in
Stockton
playoffs.
top 5. Me
That's
and
what I
Sturdy
said.
have always been in debates. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all.
Fair
I'm
enough.
not taking John Stockton over Luka Doncic if I had to choose. That's just
As
me.
you shouldn't. As you shouldn't.
I'm not taking no John Stockton over Luka. I don't care about the accolades and longevity. I'm taking Luka.
Yeah, I'm with you right there. I mean, like I said, I came up in the 90s. You know what I mean? That's when I first started watching basketball, but I can't ignore what I'm seeing. You know? I can't ignore what I'm seeing.
Well, all time, he's not there yet. All time because John Stockton did have a long career,
No,
but
he's there.
as a
Luka's
player,
there.
yes, Luka is above him.
Most durable
Yeah,
player.
so-
Made the playoffs. Anyone else?
So reply to Travis. So reply to Travis real quick.
It's about what you prefer. I prefer a point guard. Yes, he can give me some scoring, but I need a point guard who can facilitate the offense, who can play the passing lanes, and can actually sit in the chair and play defense like a Jason Kidd. So that's the type of point guard I prefer.
Yeah.
Jason Kidd is like the perfect archetype for a point guard at his size.
I would take Luka Doncic. You prefer scoring. That's just what you prefer.
Name the point guard.
I prefer Magic Johnson.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And Jason
No. It's to reply to Travis' point. It's like I said, I weigh awards 10% of my criteria, Travis. I'm not saying
What
you
is
don't
your
have
criteria? I want to hear your criteria.
I said, okay, so the way I rate greatest is 30% production impact, 30% playoffs, how you play in the playoffs, 30% longevity, and 10% awards.
Kobe top 5.
Okay.
I can see why by that criteria,
So-
John
so-
Stockton.
I want to see that. I want to see the list.
John Stockton has an. I'm finishing my top 25 soon, but I did top 10, but I want to extend it to 25. John Stockton has phenomenal longevity, top 3 longevity of all time. It's only he's up top 5 longevity of all time. He's up there with LeBron, Karl Malone, and Kareem, easily. The playoffs, no, the playoffs he regresses. The impact towards winning, not in comparison to his peers, especially we're talking about upper echelon point guards of all time. It's towards the bottom of the top 10 list. And like I said, because of awards, even if you go by awards, he has less awards on the top 10 point guards of all time. So that's why he's not top 5.
I think Stockton has more impact than Chris Paul.
That's how you feel.
I'm not going to agree with that, but you can have that.
Disagree, Mike. I've actually proven that does not be the case, unfortunately.
What's up, panel?
What, Chris Paul in the playoffs?
Chris Paul is actually one of the 10 most impactful players of all time. Impactful for Dynamo.
Wow.
Like Chris Paul's literally only weakness is Scott Foster and injuries.
Scott Foster.
No, those facts. No.
Hey, say that one more time. Say that one more time, please.
Scott Foster and injuries. That's literally his only weakness, bro.
Back to back finals. Y'all gotta give Stockton credit.
That's real. I don't. That's Karl Malone. Anyway, no, Mac up for real. He only won one.
Who hit the game-winning shot to put him in the finals? What are you
playoff
talking
game.
about? That's Karl Malone.
Yeah, I know.
You know Karl Malone.
That great moment in '97. That was phenomenal by John Stockton. You please give me any other great fucking playoff moment he ever had besides that '97
when he hit the game-winning shot over the Kings. He took Magic Showtime Lakers 7. What are y'all talking about?
What you mean he took Magic Showtime Lakers 7?
When he averaged 27 and 14?
Wrong. Those 3 games they got swept by the Lakers. That's the game.
No, when he took Magic Johnson 7.
What year?
88.
Okay, you just don't know the stats. You just don't know John Stockton then.
I just said
Was that what year was that?
88. 88.
One of the best years ever.
Second round in 88, I believe.
Yeah.
And in
We
88,
talking about LeBron
James. Actually, no. In 88, it was 20 and 12. It was 20 and 12 against Portland. That shit went 4 games.
So he don't know what year he's talking about.
What?
If you're talking about the Lakers series when he averaged 19, yeah, that was 7 in 88. But no, the Lakers he averaged 20. The only time he averaged 20 against the Lakers, he never averaged 20 against the Lakers back there. What are you talking about? He averaged 19 in '88.
So Goaty with Karl Malone taking most of the shots.
No, him and Cardinals taking most of the shots. But I'm
I
gonna rewatch that
mean,
series though.
yeah,
So,
you got to rewatch that series. Like John Stockton, he was all right, but
What's the goat?
I mean, I just see what Steady be saying when he say he don't got top 5 point guard. I'm not saying you can take him out of the top 10 because I don't think you can, but
No, he's not in the top
can't be
10.
in the top. He can't be in the
That's
top
my
5.
criteria.
It's all about your
He's not in the top
criteria.
five, no.
No, not top 10 all the time, just top 10 point guards. Like,
Travis, I wanted to ask you a question.
No, he's top 10
What's up,
point
Phil?
guards,
He just
but
came
he ain't
in.
top
Hey,
5.
so I heard
no,
I
he's
heard
not
a
No, he's
top
little
5.
bit
definitely not
earlier.
top 5.
I heard a little bit
Ismail
earlier
Cook.
was said if LeBron James gold medal doesn't add to his legacy, if he had lost and won bronze, would that devalue his legacy?
No.
Nigga, you know the LeBron's memes would have been rolling. They were ready for us to lose.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it would have.
Of course, it would devalue him. Of
It
course,
would
it
have
would.
devalued
Mac
him. That's a
Def would have been
fact.
calling him LeBron.
You think so, McDuff? You think that
No,
him
yes,
winning,
because he would have. Yes, and I would have had to hear it about Steph Curry as well for playing with this bum ass team. This U.S. team was garbage as heck. I'm glad he saved y'all. I don't care who won MVP. I'm glad they won because I don't want to
that's the
hear it.
problem. That's the problem
Mac
right
Def,
there.
we just had the argument last night. I think this 2014 washes the 92 Dream Team.
Well,
That's cool.
I'm not going. But that's the
We
problem.
already
right
had
there.
that argument last
But
night.
yeah, it would have diminished it. Yes, it would have diminished everybody's legacy if they would have lost the gold medal. That's a
Bro,
fact.
that's a damn lie because they be letting Tim Duncan and AI off the hook for that
No,
that 04
it would
bronze.
have only LeBron. Only
They
LeBron.
literally
No,
blamed the 03 draft class for getting
Everybody
bronze in 04.
criticizes Allen Iverson for that because that
No, they
that
don't.
was the
No,
proof
they
that Allen
don't.
Iverson can't win with great
No,
teams.
they don't.
No,
Maybe they did at the time, but we're talking about right now in
Most people
2024.
don't even know
There's a
Isaiah's on
legacy.
the
Yes, we do.
They didn't even know AI or Tim Duncan were on the team, bro. Like
They
those
don't
were the leaders of
They
the
don't bring
team.
that up.
Melo, Wade, and
Like, they don't
LeBron was
bring
on
that
that
up.
team.
See, like, let me say
Nobody
this.
brings that up.
Let me say this. Let me see
Yes, we do.
why
Yes,
that's
they
a problem.
do. Sturdy. What are you
No, they
talking
don't,
about?
bro. Just stop capping MacDuff. They don't bring him up. They
No.
never
As
bring
far
him
as
up.
Tim Duncan knows, because we know what Tim Duncan did. But when we argue Allen Iverson, people would say, "Well, what can he do with great players?" Because I say, "Well, he didn't have nobody in Philly." Then people say, "Well, he played with Carmelo." What about the U.S. Olympic team? People use that against
don't
Allen
try to slide
Iverson.
that
Not
in
no
I have
Tim
never
Duncan,
heard
but
no
Allen
one use the
Iverson.
U.S. against Iverson. Never once
I've
ever heard
never
that.
heard that.
Mac Def,
ever.
Never heard that.
Let's be
You guys are lying,
let's be
bro.
anecdotal. Let's use anecdotal evidence, Mac Def. Out of the numerous conversations we have between AI comparing it to Harden and Drexler and whoever, we have never ever brought up his Olympic success in '04. Ever.
You're lying,
Ever.
Sturdy.
Most people
We have.
Mac Def, you cap it. Mac Def,
So hold on, time out.
Harden has a gold.
This is how I know you're lying. Hold on, this
Harden
is
has
how
a
I know
gold
you're
medal.
lying
Why the
because
fuck would I not bring up?
talked
Why the
about
fuck would I bring up
we
Harden
talked
having
about
the gold
the
medal
04
and AI don't? That don't make no
we talked
sense.
about the 04 Olympics, Sturdy, and we always brung
No, we
up
did not.
Manu Ginobili. We brung up Manu Ginobili and what he did in the Olympics as well. I had a debate between True to King between Klay Thompson and Ginobili. Did he not bring up Ginobili's
That's Klay
Argentina
Thompson and
Olympics?
Ginobili. Listen again, Mac Def.
That's how we got on the topic.
AI, wrong. Hey, let's stay on the topic. When people talk about AI legacy, no one brings up his failure in '04 in the Olympics. No one. No one do
You
not.
guys
No, they
are
don't.
lying, bro.
Well, Sturdy,
Facts.
hold on. Wait. So, MacDef, can I get your clarification? He didn't have anyone in Philly. He didn't have the Defensive Player of the Year in 2001 and the Sixth Man of the Year and the Coach of the Year.
He didn't have considerable offensive help in Philly. No, and Mutombo was great. He had a great defensive team, but Allen Iverson carried that Philly.
Eric Snow is a top 5 point guard of all time. What are you talking about?
All right, let me say this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to see why this is a problem. This is a problem right here, bro. Because we allow ourselves to have narratives in place.
Aaron McKee, the GOAT.
Hold on, Travis. We have this is just narrative biasness when people say it's a failure if LeBron James didn't win the game. I had an open mindset. The only narrative I had was I thought LeBron James was going to be the best player in USA basketball, but I didn't have any expectations, regardless of the names of who was going to win or not. I just was looking at it from the perspective of just I wanted to see good basketball. And see, the problem is that people want the USA to blow out every team, and I'm just looking at it like, why would you want that to happen? Like, you don't want to be competitive. You just want
because
no, I'm
our
not
era
saying you
cared
did that. I'm
about
just
winning.
saying
We
that
don't care
It was a
about the
rhetorical question
individual
right there.
player who
Right there. It
plays
was
the
a
best
rhetorical
and
question.
Yeah,
lose.
it's a rhetorical
It was a
question.
rhetorical
I'm just
question.
saying into placing my point. It's because it's like it's the narrative that USA has to win, and if they don't win, then it's going to affect everybody's legacy. I think that's just
Facts.
absurd, man. Like, if you see it from that point, then you can't really enjoy good basketball like that. Even though it was an exhibition game, or like we had one of the best games I've ever seen in my life. It was against Sudan in that exhibition game, and then it was against Serbia in the elimination game. Like, that's one of the best games I've ever seen. It was physical. It was great basketball. It wasn't. I didn't see anything where it was refs on anybody's side or anything like that. It was
Well,
like
Ismail, yeah, Ismail, the thing is, no one cares about the blowouts, but when it's a competitive games, that's when people care about as well. Like, we don't remember the blowouts. We don't remember the 2 Serbia blowouts, but we remember the close game. We want to see good games. Like you're
yes,
saying, we want to
exactly.
see
So
a
it's like,
blowout.
Yeah,
why do
Who
people?
wants
exactly.
to
They
not be
ignored us.
remembered? No one cares about blowouts.
Yeah, they ignored us when we
But
blew out
but
South Sudan in the actual games that
here's the
counted, but
thing.
they still want to talk about us
Booker
barely
and
winning
Jason Tatum.
in the exhibition game. And we didn't
Here's
even
the thing.
lose like we did last year. We lost an exhibition game last Olympics, but we
Well,
still won
in the
gold.
pool play, yeah, they actually
Yeah.
lost in the pool play in
Here's the
2020.
thing, B-Lee.
No,
When they do
we cared
blow
about
out a
that. I'm not gonna
team,
count. We did
when
care
they
about
do
that.
blow out a team, it's like, oh, it's the thing that you're supposed to do,
Not
right?
entertaining.
And then it's like when it's a close game and it's competitive, it's like, oh man, the USA, all these names, they're supposed to be blowing out a team and stuff like that, or it's like nobody really cares if it's a blowout or whatnot. So it's like people are just picky and choosy on which they choose to hate on.
Ishmael,
So
you gotta remember this. The standard is the 92 Dream Team.
and that's
And they
crazy.
were winning.
Why? It's like,
Hold on,
who the
hear
heck
me.
wants that?
Let me finish. The standard is the 92 Dream Team. And see, I already know I'm gonna get pushback on this. The world didn't take basketball serious back then. Back then, that was just a beauty pageant for the US and the US basketball team. Those dudes were just happy to be on the court, to play with Michael Jordan, to play with Scottie Pippen and the rest of those guys. They're like, oh my God, I've seen you on TV. Can I get your autograph? And then we're gonna go out here and they were going to be trash. Fast forward 30 freaking years. The world takes basketball seriously. I keep getting pushback when I say the world has caught up. We're talking 10 years ago, or even 3-4 Olympics ago. The world was not this good. These games weren't going to be competitive. I think France, and I said this yesterday, I think France would have beat the 92 Dream Team. I think Serbia would have beat the 92 Dream Team. That's my opinion, because they play basketball. They are actually
I mean,
good.
that's cool. That's cool. I agree with what you're saying. I don't know, all the teams are a win against 92. I'm not saying like I disagree with that either, but it's just crazy to me. It's like it's just so many people are just hypercritical on this. And
I mean, they have to keep that narrative alive. They have to keep it alive. They have to keep that narrative alive.
That's weird to me. It's like
because if you're gonna sit here and say they're better than the 92 Dream Team, then yes, the people who believe that team was the best or 96, they gonna say something. That's a fact.
No, it's. I think they mean that the talent wise and the quality of basketball, but not in the case that it's like their run is better than the 92. Nobody's run is going to be better than 92 Dream Team. They beating every team by 50 and 40, but I mean, it's like a few blowouts here and there is expected.
Because they got a better team.
Saying that though, who wants to keep saying that? You don't want to see competitive
so
basketball.
they could be on top still. The 90s could continue to be on top. So they have to push that narrative so they continue to stay on top.
Yeah, the 92 Dream Team is like a crystallization of the 90s and the 80s era, because you got Jordan, Magic, and Bird. It's like a combination of those two eras. And, you got pretty much the best of the best from that time period. Like they're not gonna try to diminish that for anything.
Yeah, I mean,
the main reason why they're not going to diminish it, because to your point, Ishmael, one, the 92 Dream Team, that's the most impactful basketball team in the history of the game.
And the
That
best.
team, that team globalized the game. So from an
That's
impact
true.
standpoint, they're gonna always give homage, and it's gonna have this perception as the standard of greatness when it comes to Olympic play. However, when it comes to this the reason why the narrative and why the swing that heavy is because of us as Americans, how dominant we were in basketball. And look this up. In any other sport, Olympic sport, no country is more dominant in one sport than the U.S. when it comes to basketball. So
Give
our
Canada 4 years.
expectations, So our expectations, no matter what year, is dominance. Is dominance. That's why.
Women's basketball. Women's soccer.
This narrative
That's a
is still
fact.
a
Track and
Jordan
field.
narrative. If Michael Jordan was not on that 92 team, we won't be talking about it. Just like we don't talk
That's not
about the
true.
1996 team. It's because
That's
of
not
Michael
true.
Jordan was on the team.
That's not
If
true.
there
That's
was
not
no
true.
Michael Jordan on that team, we would not be talking about that team today. The only reason we talking about it because Michael Jordan's on that team. Simple as
Brandon,
that.
That's not true.
I mean, that's
you
the
and I
main
were
reason. That's
That's
true.
Brandon, you and I were at the gold
That's
medal
not true.
game in France, and like you said that they
Gotta
were
stop
trash.
disrespecting like the era, bro. Like I understand Jordan is great.
There's
The
no
media paid for him
disrespect.
shit,
It's Michael
but
Jordan.
no,
The
bro.
Oh
media
no,
is
it's
No,
because
it wasn't
Michael
just
Jordan,
Jordan.
Michael
Trust me.
Jordan,
If
Jordan
Michael Jordan was
had
It
the
not on
wasn't
that
most.
just
team, we wouldn't
Jordan.
be talking about it. We would
No,
not be
That's
talking
not
about that
true.
team.
no,
No, they
Sturdy.
talk. They
I see
talk
what
about
he's
that.
talking
No.
about.
Here's the reality. They talk about that team. It was the first time we allowed pros to go to the Olympics. That's why.
And if
Like
Michael
fuck
Jordan was
this,
not on
bro.
that team, we wouldn't talk about it. We don't talk about that
No, that's not
1994
true.
team.
Cause
We don't talk about
that's
that
not even Jordan's
96
first
team.
Olympic
We
team.
continue to talk about that 1992 because Michael Jordan was on it. If Michael Jordan was not on
No,
that
that's
team,
not it.
they would just say, this is the first time the NBA came. They won't be talking about this the greatest team ever assembled. It's because of Michael Jordan's on that team. Because the 96 team was a better team. And we don't talk about that team.
No,
The
it is.
reason
I
that's
see
not
what he's
true.
talking
The reason
about.
why
It's
that's not.
because
Hold on,
Jordan was a bigger
The reason why that's
international
not
star
true.
than anybody else on that 92 team. Like
Because the
the
reason why
people
that's not true. The
overseas
reason why
didn't
that's not true.
recognize Magic or Bird like that. They were American.
Gotta
They
stop
were
that.
more American players, bro. Like they were more popular here in America than they were overseas. Jordan had that international market down already.
No.
He was like
Here's the no.
the
Because
best and the
the reason
most
why that's not
championship.
true. The reason why that's not true because that wasn't Jordan's first Olympic run. That wasn't.
Jordan
It still didn't get. It still
Jordan won the
no.
global
It still didn't get
player.
the. It still no. It still didn't get the global push because the game. No. Let me finish. It still get global push because the NBA wasn't as prominent was in '84 as it was in '92. That's why.
What
Wasn't
I'm
just
saying
one
is,
guy.
like, bro, we should. I just think that
People still talk about Michael Jordan in 1984 as the best player because Michael Jordan played on that team. They say that Michael Jordan beat all these all-stars because of Michael Jordan on the team. When they even have debates about the 92 team, they even sit Charles Barkley on the bench, even though he was the best player on that team, because they say we have Michael Jordan. Everything is always surrounding Michael Jordan. And if Michael Jordan never played on that 92 team, we would not be talking about them as any type of team.
No, that's
It's the
from Jordan
narrative
fans.
with Michael Jordan.
I don't understand.
It's the media. It's the media. It's the media. It's the narrative around that team. That team was not that great of a
But they
team.
blew everybody
Up
out
and
by
down.
50 points as well.
The media
We wouldn't
emphasizes
talk
on the
about it
fact
if they
that
did. If they
Bro,
still
any
won by
of
50
our
points every
Olympics
day, we wouldn't
teams,
talk about it.
any of our Olympic teams would have blown the fuck out of any of those teams in '92. Like, let's just keep it real. Like every team that came after '92 would have shit on every single international team that played in '92 by the exact same points margin, or maybe even more. Yeah, I'm talking about every single Olympic team that we've had since '96 will shit on every international team in '92. Every single one of them.
Okay, is that okay? Let's say that's a fact. Now, are you going to take this team in '92 and transport them to prove it, or are you just going to shit on what the '92 Dream Team did?
Nobody's shitting on what they did. We're just putting it into perspective. What they did was great for that time, but we're not going to sit here and pretend like that '92 Dream Team is going to just beat every single team in 2024 by 50 points. They're not doing that shit. But that's how casuals talk about the '92 Dream Team.
Okay. And then my response
Magic
to that,
and
my
Larry
response
Bird
to
on
that
it
is
that they're
what
somehow going to
international
beat
team,
Serbia by 50 points with fucking Jokic and Bogdanovich going crazy. They're not going to do that shit, bro. They're just not going to do that.
Bogdanovich?
Yeah, man. He's a good
Yes,
player.
Bogdanovich, bro.
Brian Robinson would clap.
They would not have had an answer for a nigga hitting 3-pointers like that in the '92 era, bro.
Can I raise
They
my
didn't
hand?
face
Is
that kind of defense or offense.
better than Petrovic?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Then why bring it up?
These teams are better as a whole. The individual players are better than the international teams as a whole.
No.
Hold on. Like, because I said this earlier, the '92 team did not know how to play in the rules of the new 2024. How they're been playing this how with the condensed court, the way they play. The NBA players did not know how to play this game. If you put the '92 team in versus this tournament, they would not win because they don't know how to play these rules. The court is more condensed. These players are better. These players
And
are
these
better.
players have been playing together since they were teenagers as well.
We put the best players in the NBA on the team, and they are barely winning. And they're not winning. Do we have the most talent? We take our three big guns off our team, and we replace them with the other players in the NBA. They would not win this tournament because the game is different. The game is different. You can disagree if you want, but Kevin Durant has been on the team every time they won the Olympics the last 4 times. And the last 2 Olympics, they had to struggle to win. And they only pulled it out because Kevin Durant's on their team. You take Kevin Durant off of 16 and 20, they would not win, just like they don't win in the world game. This narrative about these players are not more talented does not matter. Kentucky does not win every NCAA title. It doesn't matter. They lose to mid-major teams. Basketball is different. Basketball is not only talent no more. Basketball is not only talent no more.
Exactly. Like, this is Mac Def's problem.
It's not just.
This is Mac Def's problem. He sees that 92 team. He sees that 92 team, and he hears names like Jordan, Barkley, Pippen. He's name writing, and he's not using common sense. He's really not. Because, like you said, the game is completely different. They play trash in those Olympics in the '92 Olympics, bro. Those teams
forget about the national teams. That's not my premise on the national teams. Y'all can say the competition is better today than yesterday. I don't care about that. To say that I'm using names is better. The basketball is better today, but to say that I'm using names like Michael Jordan, like that's not a name, Magic Johnson, like that's not a name, and then you guys want to sit here and cap on some 40-year-old LeBron James trying to be better than a 92 Jordan, that's cap. That's cap. To say a 36-year-old, Kevin Durant can't play against a 92 Scottie Pippen, that's cap.
Last night, me, Sturdy, and Ishmael were talking.
He just said I use names. He said that. Twin Man said that.
Here and said that this 2024 team would watch the 92 team. I sat here and said that, and I stand on it. He said he would put 92 Jordan on LeBron James. I said he's too small, which he is too small.
Jordan can't guard anybody taller than him, and that weighs more than him. So that's out of the question. He's never going to be able to guard LeBron James.
Y'all got to stop falling. Y'all got to stop falling for the bananas and tail.
And he's like 2-3 inches taller, man. Like, you can't. Like, LeBron has been able to.
Why would you put him on prime LeBron? Put Pippen on.
You're gonna have to put David Robinson on LeBron.
Hold on, T-Perfect. They put out 4 T-Perfect. When we had this conversation, they put out 4 different lineups, and I had to match it. That's what happened.
Kevin Durant.
You said who?
Johnson guarding Kevin Durant.
I didn't say that. I never said that in my life.
Scottie Pippen's gonna be guarding KD like that's actually gonna do something.
No. The first starting lineup y'all had was LeBron, Steph, Devin Booker, KD, and
none of them is guarding Steph
Joel
either.
Embiid. That was the first starting lineup y'all had.
Yeah, that was me.
Right?
I said that.
I mean, you don't really have an answer for anybody on that team from the '92 team. Like, you really don't.
McDev was juggling gets like 3 different lines.
30. I think you're breaking up something. 30.
Hold them to like 1. I'm breaking up,
bro. I said that, bro. Like, they will get blown out, man. You can't stop that. And
because you were saying I don't care about defense, and I'm like, what are you talking about? The defense in the '92 is better than what y'all got, and then y'all act like we can't match. Y'all act like they don't have the clear advantage in the front court with rebounding and in the paint. That's the cap that I'm trying to like. What are y'all
doing? 92 teams cannot compete with these players today. Simple as that.
Listen, bro. No. Listen what I'm saying, bro. I said that defense wouldn't even be necessary like that. I said it wouldn't be the most important thing. I said that you could just take that lineup and simply they would just outscore them completely. Like that's
They're
what I'm
not
saying.
scoring. They're not scoring on them. That's
What are
my
you
whole
talking
point to
about?
sit here and say in a competitive match we're talking about
Brandon,
that
clip
David
that.
Robinson, Scottie Pippen, and Jordan are going to allow a team to score 130, 140 points. That's crazy.
Yes.
Yes, they will, because you're overrating Jordan as a defender for one, and nobody is an answer for Steph Curry on that team. Period, point blank. He's going to shoot over every single nigga that you send after him, and none of them are fast enough to keep up with him.
They don't have the freaking stamina to do that, bro.
T perfect. Can Scottie Pippen guard Steph Curry?
No.
Scottie Pippen could guard him. I would put Michael Jordan on him, but I'd have Scottie Pippen either play on Durant.
And that's exactly what I had. I had Jordan on them as well. Can Scottie Pippen guard a 40-year-old LeBron James?
No, he can't. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you out.
That's all I'm saying. Like they acting like it's weak. I'm not even saying they'll lock them up, but I'm just saying, bro,
LeBron
we
is
can
still
match
scoring on the best defenders in the league today. Scottie Pippen is not guarding them.
LeBron has never
They could be matched up versus them. They could be matched up, but they cannot be effective.
King John, tell us.
Well, we know the one weakness Jordan had was guarding quicker point guards
and gambling.
Why would you put him on Steph Curry? That's what
I told him.
He's literally getting cooked in the 90s by AI and Penny, bro. Like he's not guarding.
He's going to be a better defender than anyone we've seen. What are you talking about?
So is Steph Curry quicker than a 92 Jordan?
No.
Hold on for a second.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Running around the court after Steph Curry, bro, running through screens constantly. He's not gonna do that, bro. Like you guys are severely underestimating Steph Curry and his endurance, bro. He's running around the court all game. You're not gonna just put Jordan on him and expect him to do anything.
Reggie Miller. Jordan never wanted to guard Reggie Miller because he would be exhausted. So he's not guarding Steph.
Exactly. Just look at what happened. Yeah, just look at what happened against Reggie Miller, bro. And come on now. Come on now.
Come on. Michael Jordan would not have the stamina to guard like Steph and Curry all game. Like these players today.
What? You mean like the third, like the second most durable player in history with the stamina? Okay.
No.
That cigar smoker is not guarding Steph Curry all fucking game, bro. Come on now.
Let me finish.
Yeah, he can guard anybody in like a slower paced game, not in this game.
Yeah, that's exactly.
If you were in half court sets, if they were running half court sets all game, then maybe. But you're talking about Steph Curry, bro. He's not about to be chasing him around all. Nobody is, bro.
Steph Curry is going to be the focal point
in today's game, bro. Steph Curry today is the best catch and shoot player today. Like people talk about gravity and stuff. His gravity is able to pull other defenders away from other players.
At the same time, Curry's not going to guard Jordan. Nobody's going to guard Elijah One or not Elijah One, but Robinson or Ewing. Who's going to guard those guys? Nobody's going to guard Pippen.
They have better players. They have Joel Embiid and Anthony Davis.
No, they're not. They're not better
Nobody's
players.
going to guard Drexler. Nobody's going to guard Malone. Nobody's going to guard Barkley. Who's going to guard these people?
Travis, you're just saying stuff, bro. No way.
40-year-old LeBron.
Hold on. Who has better defenders? Let's just go with that because the offense is the offense. Y'all think y'all got the 3-point shot? Okay,
I
great.
saw 40-year-old LeBron guard Jokic down the stretch, so I still trust LeBron on defense.
Sure, you could.
Mike Duff, to answer your question, Mike Duff, actually the 2024 team. You want to talk about defensive personnel.
Explain.
If you're talking about defensive personnel, Mike Duff, you're talking about Drew Holiday, LeBron James, AD,
Jordan Pippen, David Robinson.
Let him finish, MacDuff.
Can I finish answer your question, MacDuff?
Drew Holiday. Who is Drew Holiday guarding?
Is the elite defender. MacDuff, can I finish answer your question? You said who they got. This 2024 team in terms of defensive personnel have Drew Holiday, Derek White, LeBron James, AD, Bam Adebayo, Anthony Edwards, and KD's a good defender.
Booker played great defense, bro.
Booker.
He's a decent
No. I'm not. I just want to finish speaking for myself. Booker and Curry, those are the only guys that are average to below average defenders. Majority I got them and Halliburton, your favorite point guard. Majority of those other 10 guys, MacDuff, are either good to great defenders in FIBA environment, bro. Now, when you go to that 90, if you go to that 92 Dream Team like that, it kind of gets a little shaky. I guarantee they don't have 10 players that's good to great in FIBA defensive settings.
Okay,
Because
so
already,
let me ask you this.
let me finish.
Go ahead.
Let me finish. Because already, we definitely do know Bad Back Bird was not a good defender in the FIBA. Barkley was not a good defender in the Olympics. And Max not a good defender in the Olympics. He wasn't, bro.
We wouldn't put Larry Bird in his peak as a defender.
Exactly.
No,
one said he's not in his peak. He's not in his peak.
I'm saying there's no need to even mention Larry Bird in the conversation because we wouldn't put him as a great defender in his peak.
Magic Johnson would post Derek White, dude, all day.
Another thing too, from a personnel standpoint, that the Dream Team unfortunately have a disadvantage in. Y'all taking in Christian Laettner, who will get no burn. That means you have less players to work with. So there's actually 4 players on your team. There's actually 4 players on your team that are below average defenders in FIBA settings.
So
you don't,
again,
hold on, just off that alone, you don't have. I'm landing right here. Of defensive personnel alone, you do not have. It's factually correct to say you do not have more than this iteration of the 2024 team.
Okay, so again, I said who has better defenders. So you said
He just explained why.
No,
I heard him what he said, but that's not what I said. So he named the quantity of defenders. So he said Drew Holiday. I think Michael Jordan.
It doesn't matter, bro. What you're trying to say, like the 2024 team is a better defensive team.
I let him talk for 5 minutes. The man said, I said who has better defenders. He named who he named. He said Drew Holiday. I'll take Michael Jordan over Drew Holiday. He said Derek White. I'll take Clyde Drexler over Derek White. He said LeBron James. I'll take Scottie Pippen over LeBron James. He said Anthony Davis. I'll take David Robinson defensively over Anthony Davis. All I'm saying is that when I throw my defenders out there, I think I have the better defenders to what Ishmael is saying. We don't care about defense. We'll outscore. You know what I'm saying? You're not outscoring those defenders.
Why'd you stop at 5 players?
Because I said we had better defenders. What are you talking about?
Can I go now? Can I go now? Hold on, 30.
This nigga really said Jordan is a better defender than Drew.
Okay, y'all. Let's go ahead. Let Toy Man go. Let's go. Let Toy Man go. Go, Toy Man.
So this is another thing that we had a conversation about, because I'm not sitting here saying Drew Holiday is going to stop Jordan. Didn't say that. I didn't say Devin Booker or any of these players were going to lock up players. I'm sitting here saying if we're mixing in a combination of offense and defense, I think defensively it's kind of even, and offensively we're going to murder them. Because guess what? Jordan's not playing the whole game. Neither is David Robinson. So then when you put in your second team, and Joel Embiid's coming off the bench, and Jason Tatum's coming off the bench,
Patrick Ewing,
Ant-Man coming off the bench.
No, stop it, bro. Don't say no. This man said Patrick Ewing. Stop it.
Oh my God, what are you talking about?
Stop disrespecting Patrick Ewing. Stop disrespecting
Ishmael, shut the fuck up, man. You don't know what you're talking about.
Do you know who Patrick Ewing is?
Yes, I know who Patrick Ewing is. What are you talking about? New York Knicks.
You're overrating Patrick Ewing like a motherfucker, bro.
I saw Space Jam.
I'm a Knicks fan. He's
overrating Patrick Ewing, bro. You're overrating him.
That's what I'm saying. Patrick Ewing is not better than anybody on that 2014.
So I'm saying, Matt. First of all, hold on. First of all, Patrick Ewing defensively is better than Joel Embiid. That's number one. Patrick Ewing can still give you 22 to 26 points per game.
No, it's not that. Let me say something, bro. It's not a game of basketball. It's not. Let's see who's good on one half and good on another half. It don't work like that. Okay? The game of basketball is based on the value of what you able
Ishmael, the 92 team had 4 of the best two-way players of all time. What are you talking about? David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan.
Any good offense will stop a good defense. Patrick Ewing is not stopping Joel Embiid. Simple as that.
Yes,
he's not.
Joel Embiid ain't scoring no 30 on.
Embiid's trash versus him. You think he's going to take his jump for 10
Other than Akeem Olajuwon, you can't name nobody that was serving Patrick Ewing. Nobody.
That's in the 90s, dog. You're not talking about the 2010s with better offensive players.
hit a 10-foot jumper in his face? No, he's not.
You're gonna.
You just
Steve
said
Perfect, I have a
10-foot
question
jumper.
for you, and I want
Yes.
you to use your
Definitely.
basketball
Joel
mind.
Embiid
Are
can
you
shoot
gonna put
threes.
Patrick
What are you
Ewing on
talking
Anthony
about?
Davis?
Who?
No,
Joel Embiid
Are you
like
gonna
shot
put Patrick Ewing on
40%
Anthony
from
Davis?
threes this past
that's
season.
not a good idea.
That depends on the matchup.
Unless you're playing center.
It'd be a bad
And if I
matchup for
start saying,
Patrick Ewing.
I put Anthony Davis in my starting. I put Anthony Davis in my second team, and Ewing's on the second team, and he's running with Anthony Davis. You're gonna put him on Anthony Davis?
A prime
Patrick
Ewing?
Ewing can't
Sure.
lose
What's
that
Anthony
attack.
Davis going to do? You think he's going to back him down? No. You think he's going to hit a jumper in his face? No. What's he going to do to prime Ewing?
Cross the shit out of him, and he's
No.
All right.
No.
Travis is
Davis
trolling.
What?
Travis
Cross the
is
shit
trolling.
out of him.
Travis
You
is
are
trolling.
insane.
He's
You ever
trolling.
watch any
He's
basketball?
trolling. He's trolling.
Ewing is not going to be effective.
Patrick Ewing cannot move side to side.
Travis, please.
They gotta stop.
Did the
They
90s
gotta
big
stop
men
doing
see big men like today with handle and can actually stretch the floor?
Handles. Tell me how many times Anthony Davis is crossing people up and hitting Jays. It's not happening.
Tell me how many times Ewing was guarding niggas on the perimeter. He's not doing
Ewing
that,
was
bro.
athletic defenders of all time.
But
Bro,
man,
he's
Patrick
not a
Ewing
great
tried,
perimeter
and that's
defender,
not
bro.
Patrick Ewing where those big ass knee pads. Because his knee's about to pop out of socket. He cannot guard Anthony Davis.
A 92 Patrick Ewing will serve Anthony Davis.
No, he wouldn't, bro.
Swimming. But that's why
He would
that's why
make
that-
AD stay outside the entire time.
But Travis, can I say
And he
quick?
can shoot jumpers consistently.
No, he can't.
Swimming. Can I just want to
And he
remind
can't
people?
shoot now.
Swimming. Is swimming him? So swimming. I just want to let you know that talent standpoint of like, oh, they never saw a player like this. That goes both ways for both teams. I just want to let you know that it goes both ways for both teams.
Like Hakeem Olajuwon didn't exist in the 90s.
No,
we
but
never saw Anthony Davis. Stop
Davis.
it.
But swimming, you gotta stop doing that too, bro. Like in these hypotheticals,
Where did Hakeem Olajuwon do the majority of his dirt at, McDaff?
Y'all be strict. But that's to that point. Swimman, FIBA rules favor paint protectors. That's what we talk about. They favor paint protectors.
Like, let me tell you something. McDaff. Hold on. Like, let me tell you the amount of players that are catch and shoot players, but Curry is probably the best one on the USA team. You got Kevin Durant.
Allegedly.
You got Devin Booker, right? Who else? You got
Drew Holiday's a catch and shoot player.
Yeah,
Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday.
Halliburton 10.
His goddamn team is a catch and shoot player.
He can shoot.
Correct.
He can
so you got all these catching.
Like, I'm just saying, like, how many
Keep
players?
going.
You got all of this catch and shoot. So we said Drew Holiday, Stephen
Correct.
Curry. We said
Brennan.
Devin Booker.
You say
We
Kevin
said
Durant.
Kevin
I'm sure.
Durant. Who else is a catch and shoot player? I'm trying to think. Let me see.
Embiid.
Yeah, Embiid. Yeah, he is a catch and shoot player.
Only big like 4 threes versus Serbia.
Yeah,
The only people like AD and LeBron. AD and LeBron's not catch and shoot players.
Sturdy, let me ask you a question.
Shooter. I mean that's pretty good, bro.
Sturdy.
LeBron's not a good catch and shoot 3.
And then like I'm talking about, but those 4 guys specifically, or 3 guys specifically, where you're talking about Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and you're talking about Stephen Curry, the ability to be able to move without the ball, like guys from the 92 Dream Team have not seen something like that magnitude, where guys are able to catch and shoot.
The 92 team would need 6 months to prepare for this.
Time out. Let me respond. Can I please respond?
Hold on for a second. And the fact is that these guys are not just just only catch and shoot guys. They're able to create their own shots. They're able to score on multiple defenders.
Let me ask you a question.
At the same time, bro. You're talking about 92 teams. They wouldn't even have the stamina to be able to play this way all game, and also
first of all, this is let me respond. Thank you, stamina. Let me respond, please. Let me respond.
You have to cover the spacing to be able to do that, and cover going off the screens, bro.
Let me respond. A lot of the niggas were just standing around with their defenders because they weren't moving.
Oh my god!
They were standing in the paint, bro.
Bro,
let me try to. Let me respond. So this is the thing.
Let me make it quick. Please stop saying that, bro. Because one is FIBA. FIBA is a slow-paced game. Y'all saw the game, the last 2 games. It didn't go past 100 points.
You're not watching the games, Phil.
No. Second thing is, most importantly, bro. Y'all, these are world-class athletes. Stop saying these guys are like going to like run out of stamina, out of shape, some shit like that. It's fair to say they have to cover more ground due to the threat of shooting. It's fair to say they have to deal with more offensive threats because that's the most versatile team that we put together in USA history. But stop questioning these guys' stamina and saying stuff like paint presence because FIBA rules favor those type of things. It's a slow-paced game. They allow for physicality. Stop that shit.
So
go ahead, Mike.
So number one, we saw Anthony Edwards get tired versus Dallas Mavericks. Number one,
Sturdy just said
don't talk about
why the fuck would you bring up NBA?
We talking about stamina. No, because you kept on talking about stamina. I can say what I want to say.
Why talk, nigga? Like,
shut up, nigga. I can say what I want to say.
Fuck you bringing up NBA for?
Yeah,
because he started talking about stamina. That's number one. If we didn't recognize that, that's just a get back. Number two. Number two.
Like Anthony
number
Davis
2, you said all these catch and shoot players, right?
USA team, bro. That's ridiculous.
Let's just go ahead and let Mac talk. Let's go ahead and let him talk. Just let him finish what he got to say.
It's not the same thing, so it's irrelevant. It's not
just let him get it out, Ismael. Just let him get it out.
Go, Mac. You keep on saying the stamina, which is irrelevant. You keep on saying that these catch and shoot players like Pippen, Jordan, and Drexler can't hop out on catch and shoot players, and they can't guard. That's crazy. Number three. If we're playing, and I understand you guys keep on saying FIFA rules and the 3-point line and all that. I'm taking an accountability of the players and who would win in a 7-game series and how we would operate. I'm sorry, but whoever.
That's just
we're not doing 7-game series in the Olympics, bro. It's one game.
You just changed the whole format. You just changed the whole format.
What I'm saying is, I don't care. This is number one. The stamina is irrelevant.
Stamina is relevant because you got Bird and Magic who don't play in the NBA anymore. They're not professional athletes anymore. And you also got the fact that
I only have 3 points. Number one, the stamina is irrelevant. Number two, to say that Pippen, Jordan, and Clyde Drexler can't chase and hop out on these catch and shoot players is crazy. And number three, I don't care who your point guard is, whether it's Steph Curry bringing up the ball or LeBron bringing up the ball. I have a 92 Pippen that can guard 94 feet. So all these catch and shoot and this offense that you think that's finna happen, I have a guy who can guard 94 feet. Anybody bringing up the ball. That's all I'm saying. With Jordan and David Robinson behind him defensively.
Can I get a back?
He's gonna outscore me. That's cool for you to think that, but I'm not considering that. I don't think.
Let me ask him one thing. Let me ask him one thing. Have you seen Scottie Pippen guard someone like Steph Curry before?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill, Dominic Wilkins, Reggie Miller.
They don't play nothing like each other. What are you talking about, McDuff?
Reggie Miller don't even dribble the ball. Next.
So hold on. You said, hold on. This is what I'm saying. You're saying off-ball movement. Dominique Wilkins can move off ball. We saw Reggie Miller move off ball. Penny Hardaway can move off ball. What are you talking about?
Hardaway's a point guard. He doesn't move off the ball.
None of them move like Steph Curry point blank. Bro, Dellavedova damn near died guarding this nigga in the finals, bro. Come on now.
Can Scottie Pippen
That's a
guard
real
Steph
impact
Curry?
on stamina.
That's NBA.
All right, Mac. That narrative you have don't even make any sense. All right,
Mac, you're my hero.
Yeah, Mac. Yeah.
We see what Raheem did to the Bulls. So
Scottie Pippen can't guard Steph Curry. I got y'all.
We could answer that question right there.
Scottie Pippen would lock Curry.
Why would you put? Well, I'm saying, why would you put Pippen, a guy like that, on a guy like Steph Curry, Mac?
No, we're putting up Durant, Sturdy. We're putting him on Durant. We already agreed.
You put Pippen on anybody.
Curry's gonna cook. Bron's gonna cook.
Yeah.
No, he's
Why are y'all saying a top
Bron's gonna do
5
shit.
defender all time is gonna get
Because we've
cooked?
seen him get cooked by Penny multiple times.
You think
By
Bron's
Grant
gonna
Hill
cook
multiple
inside?
times.
Fuck
That's
no.
why we've seen him
Look,
get cooked.
Scottie Pippen is a great defender, and we're not trying to diminish his defensive ability, but we're talking about the best players ever to play the game. He's not going to be guarding them like that.
Look, McDev.
All right, God. Let's go in here and let's go and hear what Lamont got to say.
Can we just get Lamont's casual take here?
Hey, man. Well, I think that. Yeah, I think when I hear McDev talk about matchups,
oh God,
if the problem is he's talking about Pippen guarding these players as if Pippen's not gonna have other defensive responsibilities. Like when you defend transition, half court, whatever, you got more responsibilities than just your man. You got help, and so the way this 2014 plays is they don't rely on ISO matchups. They exploit defenses based on how defenses compromise themselves. So, for example, they ran a lot of something called the Spanish pick and roll. The Spanish pick and roll uses 3 players. For example, AD sets the screen on LeBron James's man at the top of the key. As AD is rolling, Steph Curry is setting the screen on Anthony Davis's man. So AD is rolling. Steph Curry's popping to the top of the key after bumping AD's man. LeBron James is flared out looking for AD rolling. Steph Curry popping to the key. And so as LeBron rolls, he's looking at the strong side defender. Does that strong side defender gravitate towards him? If he does because he has the help, then Bron's going to kick it to that strong side corner 3. If that weak side guy lifts up and that opposite side guy is going to follow AD because AD is rolling, he's looking at that particular threat, then he's going to kick it to the opposite 3. If they don't help, AD's a lob threat at the rim. If they slip up and Ewing can't go out there to cover Steph Curry at the 3-point line, Steph Curry's wide open at the top of the key. That's what I'm looking at. When I look at them just running simple actions like that, they're not going to allow Kevin Durant to go one-on-one with Scottie Pippen. They're going to run so much off-ball actions. They're going to run so many intricate sets and plays. They're going to compromise that defense to such a degree where guys like Ewing who shown that he can't guard on the perimeter, David Robinson, he's going to have to prove that he can guard on the perimeter, not just guard on the perimeter, show that they can get out to the perimeter, contest, and then recover back in if need be. So it's going to be a scramble fest. Also, look at how the U.S. team in 92 actually played. There were certain players. So if you're going to go 92 team versus this team, you have to look at how the FIBA rules affected each player, because from what I'm hearing is, well, especially with McDev, he's making it seem like Jordan is going to be the same Chicago Bulls Jordan when he steps versus this 2014. If we're talking about taking how the FIBA rules affected each team and each player, well, the FIBA rules drastically impacted Michael Jordan's game. He was not the same player. He was not the same player offensively or defensively, right? And then when you look at the bigs on this team, the bigs on this team were essentially mitigated for to a certain degree because Patrick Ewing wasn't a significant factor with the Dream Team. He wasn't a significant factor because most of the teams played small ball and they went small. So Ewing and David Robinson were kind of mitigated out the games. And this is why Barkley and Malone had to thrive, because they had to play small ball. And so Barkley was their best player. Mullen was their best shooter. Outside of that, those are your 2 biggest weapons. Jordan was a non-factor because he couldn't shoot. Pippen was essentially a non-factor on offense because he really couldn't shoot. So when you look at everything, I mean, they're looking at the team 3-point shooting percentage being at 40%. That's heavily tilted because Charles Barkley shot 1 3 a game and went 7 or 8. And if you think that Charles Barkley is going to be your floor spacer, well, good luck with that. He's not going to be your floor spacer against this 2024 team. They'll let him shoot threes all day, and I promise you he won't beat anybody shooting threes. And then you have to look at Charles Barkley's style of play. As a 6'6" undersized player, if you're telling me that he's going to play that same style versus Embiid and AD and still be effective, you're just really trying to just trick yourself into believing something's going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Barkley's not going to be able to do an undersized 6'6" versus a more athletic or athletic AD, Joel Embiid, bigger bodies, better defenders. It's just not going to work out that way. I believe that Malone would probably be the best player in this particular setting because of the pick and roll. But without them, without Bird being effective, because Clyde Drexler couldn't shoot, he shot 6 of 21 from the 3-point line. Larry Bird was essentially non-effective because he shot 9 of 27 from the 3-point line. So he was a non-factor as far as spacing the floor. He was a non-factor on defense as well. Jordan was a non-factor because he couldn't space the floor. He couldn't shoot the ball very well because of the FIBA rules, 4-19 from the 3-point line. The only two players that you would be heavily relying on who adapted to the FIBA rules will be Chris Mullin and Charles Barkley. So if you're telling me that this FIBA team in 92, led by Charles Barkley and Chris Mullin, is going to beat what we just saw yesterday, you must be out of your mind.
They getting washed, bro. 92 is getting washed. I don't give a fuck what Mac says.
To the fairness of Mac Def, Lamont, because it was an exercise we did on full court press, right? The exercise was outside of the health status of your prospective teams. Everything else is hypothetical. Style of play, coaching style, rotations. Everything else has hypothetical flexibility outside of the health state of those teams. So to Mac Dale's point, he wasn't defending 92 Dream Team as what they played like as is. He was saying if this personnel was to face this team in these type of settings, and there was a little more flexibility to their scheme and their coaching philosophy, he's saying they will have greater success. He didn't say as is.
What do you mean when you say a little bit more flexibility to their scheme and coaching philosophy? What does that mean?
So this is what Mac Def said. Mac Def, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Mac Def was alluding to the fact that he wasn't going to keep the same starting lineup they did in 92. He was going to adjust it. And he said his main action would have been pick and roll. He just left that pick and roll. And that's what he left it at. So that's what I meant by that was the beauty exercise. It was just a hypothetical.
Yeah. But pick and roll. But the problem with that is pick and roll is just pick and roll. Pick and roll is just the action. First of all, pick and roll, like two people run pick and roll, you still got 3 other guys on the court that need something to do. So you can't just tell 2 guys to go pick and roll and everybody else is not doing anything. Are you just going to? So what do you do? If the pick and roll, for example, was with Karl Malone and Magic Johnson, with the other 3 guys on the court, where are you placing Barkley? Or where are you placing Jordan? Where are you placing these other guys? And then, especially if you pick and roll, you're going to have shooters on the court. Otherwise, and with these FIBA rules, they're just going to pack the paint, and your pick and roll is going to essentially be ineffective anyway. So the thing is, unless you're telling me you're playing John Stockton significant number of minutes, Chris Mullin a significant number of minutes, and you're keeping those guys glued to the floor to keep the floor space, you're not going to have the spacing to even run an effective pick and roll. So you got to tell me what system you're implementing. Just like when I said the Spanish pick and roll, I didn't say pick and roll. I said the Spanish pick and roll implements all 5 guys. The 2 guys on the wing corners know what they're going to do. The guard at the rim knows what he's going to do. AD setting the screen knows what he's going to do. LeBron with the ball in his head knows what he's going to do. Now you got all 5 guys, and that's why I said it's going to pose a lot of problems for the 92 defense, because now when those corner wings help, you got essentially LeBron James, who is one of the best drivers in the world. If you don't help on him, he's going to get layups all day. And there's nobody on the 92 team that was physical enough to stop LeBron, even at 39 years old at the rim. So at the same time, that's not cap. That's a fact. That is a fact. This is just facts. This is just facts. It's just facts.
Travis is trolling. Travis is trolling. Travis is trolling. Travis trolling.
Lamont needs to be objective.
Hey, one mic.
This isn't.
Hold on, real quick. Can I
All right. Hold on. Lamont, are you done?
Look, I am on this. Look, it's just stop. Like Matt Def can try his hardest to make up some style of play that he thinks might put the 92 team. The problem is with the lineup that Matt Def tried to put out there, he's already compromised himself because he has no floor spacing. All the players that he's pretending that can make threes, like Clyde Drexler, he can't. because in FIBA rules he shot 6 of 23. And with FIBA rules, Michael Jordan was essentially irrelevant on the offensive end. So he wasn't the Jordan that we saw in the league. I don't care how you change it up. Jordan himself wasn't even a great pick and roll player. He was much better in the ISO. So you saying that you're going to run a pick and roll offense, you essentially make Jordan obsolete in all his offensive abilities. You should probably run something else that actually will put Jordan in a better situation. Your bigs, David Robinson and Patrick Ewing, because other teams in the 92 Olympics went small, they became obsolete. Ewing didn't even average 10 points a game. David Robinson barely averaged 10 points a game. And they only played like 15, 16 minutes a game, so they wasn't even playing a lot. So the thing is, you're heavily reliant. Like I said, your two best players with FIBA rules are going to be Barkley and Mullen. If you're telling me that you're going to beat this team with those two guys as your best players, because those were the two guys that actually adapted to the FIBA rules the best and actually were somewhat competent, okay, well then if you're going to tell me you're going to beat me with those two guys, all right, well, like I said, you smoking new K2 or something. I don't know what you're smoking, MacDef. You're trying to put together this fake stuff. It's not really based out of logical reality. You're trying to talk offense and defense when I know you don't know offense and defense.
Thank you. It's obviously not reality.
This is just you loving the 92 team over this team, and you're trying to create an argument because you love these guys over there, but it's not based out of logic. So just say you have a bias towards the 92 team, but don't try to pretend like there's something systematically or strategically that you can do that makes the 92 team better than this team that we saw yesterday.
I don't have a bias over the 92 Dream Team because I think the 96 Dream Team is the best. That's number one. Number two, I'm just matching up based on the lineups that Twin Man and Ishmael gave. That's all I'm doing, and I'm saying I got the better defenders. Number three, I don't have to play and have shooters and space out and all this stuff that you're saying. When I got Magic Johnson, who's guarding Magic Johnson? Who's guarding Magic Johnson? Because I can put Magic Johnson in the post versus anybody, correct?
No. So hold on, MacDef.
LeBron James.
So I can't hold on. I can't put Magic Johnson in the post.
MacDef. It's like this. It's by committee. So they're just like you're talking about. So let's just use what you just said. You're trying to make it seem like every time a player touches the ball, it's going to be a one-on-one matchup. If Magic Johnson touches the ball in the post, because there are absolutely no competent shooters on the 92 team, that paint's going to get flooded with defenders. He's going to have bodies shaded all the way over there. He's going to have double teams. Magic's going to have to try to turn into one of the greatest passes of all time, kicking it out to guys that can't shoot threes. And then so you're going to kick it out to a Barkley or Pippen shooting threes, and they're going to brick them. You're going to kick it out to a Drexler, and they're going to brick them. Then you're off to the races all the way.
This is what you don't get. This is what I'm trying to tell you. They didn't shoot threes back then. They didn't shoot threes back then. So why are you trying to make them shoot threes in a hypothetical?
MacDef, this is not hypothetical. This is what happens when you're in a shot clock game. As you cross the court, the shot clock is running down. As you run your set, the shot clock is running down. As you post Magic, hold on 1 second. As you post Magic Johnson, now you're about 8 seconds on the shot clock. You trap Magic Johnson, he kicks it out. Hold on. You trap Magic Johnson on the post, he kicks it out. Now you're about 3 seconds on the shot clock. What other thing you have to do other than shoot? Because the shot clock. This is a shot clock game.
Let me finish. Let me finish. That is wild.
This is not cap. This is a whole bunch of people that don't know basketball.
This is what I'm saying. Hold on, Lamont. This is what I'm saying.
If I put Magic Johnson,
if I put Magic Johnson in the post and I run off ball movement, you mean to tell me Michael Jordan can't catch and shoot in the mid range?
No, he did not. He shot horribly. No, he did not. No,
you're trying to tell me that Clyde Drexler and Scottie Pippen can't cut to the basket, and I do got the greatest passer and playmaker of all time.
Because of FIBA rules, they shot horribly. Jordan can't shoot in FIBA rules. Jordan can't shoot with the FIBA game. Go look at what he did. He scored 119 points on 113 shots. He was a complete brick master. So no, he cannot shoot in FIBA rules.
He can't shoot. All right.
He didn't. Did he shoot? In FIBA rules, in the FIBA rules in '92, did Jordan shoot well?
You got it.
In 8 games, did Jordan shoot the 3 well, or did he shoot from the mid range well? Please tell me, MacDef. What did Jordan do well in 92?
Average what? 15 points per game?
Okay. He shot 15 points per game on 15 shots per game.
Correct.
Wow. Great shooting, Jordan. I'm taking that efficiency all day. I'm taking that horrible efficiency all day.
So who's guarding him?
15 points on 15 shots, you're a brick master.
Lamont, this is what I'm saying. If you want to hypothetically take Jordan's game and what he did in 92 and equate that to today, and he's going to do the exact same thing, then you got it. Then you don't have. Then this is what I'm saying. Then Jason Tatum doesn't play in the game because he didn't play in the games today.
You're right.
If you're going to equate that, but nobody's going to sit here and say Jason Tatum's not going to play.
No,
right?
No, you're right. No, you're right. I'm going to take the same Jason Tatum that we saw. So what I'm saying is, even with Jason Tatum playing bad, this team, this 2024 team, had enough players that played great because they're a much better team. The Jason Tatum, we don't need him. You are one. Essentially, your entire roster played bad.
Oh my God!
Barkley and Mullen were your two best players.
No, to be
you
fair,
said Barkley and Mullen. Yes, that was in that tournament. Exactly. Ain't nobody saying that. But hold on. To sit here and say that Kevin Durant couldn't be the best player when we know Kevin Durant is a top 10 player. But yeah, playing with all these Hall of Famers and All Stars, yes, he's gonna take a step back in scoring. But ain't nobody gonna say Kevin Durant was the fourth best scorer on Team USA, and that diminishes him.
Hold on, Magda. Kevin Durant didn't struggle shooting the ball. When it's time for him to shoot the ball, he still shot well. When it was time for Curry to shoot the ball,
was Kevin Durant the leading scorer on the team?
No, I didn't say nothing about leading scorer. I said he still shot well. You talking about Jordan? Jordan was extremely inefficient, nor could he get to the free throw line like he normally does because FIBA rules don't give him no fouls. So he only got to the free throw line twice a game, where he lived at the free throw line in the NBA. He was a free throw merchant in the NBA. He couldn't get to the free throw line with the FIBA rules, so his game completely went to the trash because they allowed him to be more physical with him. Yeah, so hold on. He didn't get to the free throw line very much. When he played with USA basketball 92, how often did he get to the free throw line?
8-9 times.
No, 1 or 2 times a game.
I mean, McDuff, that's cap.
No, I wanted him to say because he said free throw merchant, so I said 8 or 9 times. So he wasn't a free throw merchant.
Because he couldn't get to the free throw line.
All right, y'all. All right, this Michael Jordan thing is crazy.
Lamont, you're trying to take Lamont. You're trying to hold on, Brandon. This man is trying to take a 92 Dream Team with FIFA rules and this, that, and the third, and equate that to how these players actually played. I'm taking in accountability. The players in 92 are just simply better. Period. Point blank. Right, okay, and no, I'm not gonna act like it's FIFA rules. It's do or die.
All right, John. What did you have to say earlier? Because I know you're trying to say something.
Crazy.
No, I was just one thing. Lamont described the Spanish pick and roll. I actually talked about that at the beginning of this live. I explained that whole thing, and this was outside the 92 team. But I was describing the Spanish pick and roll at the beginning and saying that's how they picked apart teams in this tournament. I described it right at the beginning of this live that we having right now. I broke that down right at the beginning, talking about how that's how they broke down teams in this country. So I get everything you was talking about, Lamont, with the Spanish pick and roll.
It's the hardest action to guard in basketball. You can't trap it. You can't trap it because it's ran at the top of the key. You cannot trap anything at the center of the basketball court. So that's what makes it beautiful. So now you're reliant on bigs who have to close out to small guards on the 3-point line. Ewing or David Robinson would struggle with that with Steph Curry. They would get barbecued. Then you have to worry about smaller guards trying to switch on to a rolling Embiid or a rolling AD. I don't think they can contain that. Even if they do contain that, you're going to require help from your low corners, and then you're leaving shooters open like Devin Booker in those low corners. You're going to get barbecued everywhere. And with LeBron passing the ball and his threat to score at the rim, you're just going to be barbecued all day.
This team was actually built for that Spanish pick and roll. I mean, it's perfectly built for it.
We can't switch. Hold on, the 92 just can't switch. They can't play defense all of a sudden.
Who the fuck is Tyson?
What is your lineup?
Who are you switching?
Okay, how do you switch a Spanish pick and roll?
What the fuck are you talking about?
All right, Mac. Let's just move on from that. Okay, Tyson. Tyson just joined. All right, you still there, Tyson?
I'm still here. What's good?
All right. What's good? All right. So what you gotta contribute to the chat?
I disagree with most of the panel, man. The style of FIBA play, when we ran a lineup out there that couldn't space the floor,
that struggled in those things we lost. It was clear as day. So trying to compare a 92 team, those players are great and they're great in their era. That's all fine and dandy. But trying to put them in this against this team and those rules is just not fair, bro. It's just not a fair thing. So I just think that team would win the game. I'm not saying they're gonna blow them out. I'm just saying with our level of shooting today and those things, it's just too hard for that team to keep up when they just can't shoot the ball off the same clip.
That's true
And a lot of that style of play is just antiquated when you bring in zone defense of those things. We saw the change in the game. We saw the 2000s how people struggled to score. Those were great players then, but they struggled to score. Period. You know what I'm saying? They struggled to score because they just didn't have the spacing. Now, when you include the spacing, now they're running up the score again. So it's just not a fair comparison, bro. That's all. Those players are great. We love those players, man.
Hold on,
we love you. We love David Robinson.
Some of those players played in the 80s where the pace of play and scoring was like higher than it was up until like last year. So like, are you saying those players like couldn't adapt and like score at the same pace?
I'm saying the game progressed, brother. I'm saying the game progressed, and then the biggest rule change to me in the game's history, in the NBA's history, the allowance of zone defense changed the game even more. Not only did the players we saw when the players got more, skilled, and we saw what Allen Iverson and those players are doing to the league. You know what I'm saying? So now we bring in the zone defense to slow those players down, right? They still scored at a high clip, but now you bring in the zone defense that lowers their percentage and things like that.
But
That's why Kobe is still considered one of the greatest players ever, even though he didn't shoot the efficiency of these players today. But per that time, he was still very efficient. So we're talking about a zone defense slowing down the game and making it harder for players to score. The thing that alleviated that was floor spacing.
Christian Laettner was like he's by consensus the top 3 player of all time, right? So how are you going to Christian Laettner? He was on the 92 Dream Team. How are you going to account for him like when you're on the 24 Dream Team? Like you can't. Christian Laettner would drop 50 and 10 on 70% shooting. Like he would just beat that team by himself. Like what is your argument for that?
All right. Travis trolls. He trolls.
Let's move on.
I was agreeing with what Lamont was saying that
good take though, Tyson. Actually, good take.
Ev was talking about put Scotty on LeBron James. Scotty was like 218 pounds, man. Like LeBron James.
Ishmael, if you think Scottie Pippen can defend LeBron, then you're a fucking moron.
I never said he can't have any type of ounce of
I love you, by the way.
LeBron. But come on, man! Like we're talking about one of the best drivers, one of the best finishers in basketball still today. Even just
it wouldn't mean anything against that front court and Scottie Pippen.
Dude is 218 pounds in 1992 at like 6'8". LeBron is 260, bro. What are we talking about?
He's not going to get layups against them.
We're talking
if
about
anything, he would have to post Scottie up.
Freaking Magic Johnson, but able to drive better and shoot a 3 better. And you're talking about putting Scottie Pippen on him. Like, come on, man. Like, stop playing, bro. Stop playing, bro.
T-Perfect.
He's too small.
Real talk. T-Perfect.
Real talk. And then you said,
he sat here and said 92. Now, I'm taking nothing away from 92 Jordan. 92 Jordan was phenomenal. Do you really think you can lock up LeBron James?
Even 92 Mike? 1-on-1 against LeBron James?
I'm talking about locking him up. He's even shorter. Like, bro, like, what are we talking about here?
Hold on, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Matt Duff told me.
I don't even think LeBron James, like at this point in his LeBron James career, he don't even play like y'all talking like that.
Yeah, he plays.
Trying to tell me a 40-year-old Michael Jordan is like a one-on-one.
All right, guys, one at a time. There's so many people over talking.
Oh, go ahead.
Let me ask.
That 92 Jordan would lock up LeBron James.
No. Wait a minute, hold on.
I did not say that. He's lying, bro.
Wait.
Stop lying on my name, cuz. I did not say that.
Wait. Hold on. So just get everything ready. Like, Matt Gift did not say that. Twin Man didn't say that. Ismail didn't say that. Okay. No one's actually going to stick Michael Jordan on prime LeBron or even this LeBron James for any amount of time. Like, it would be switches. Primary Jordan would be guarding the perimeter. I'd put prime Scottie Pippen on LeBron James, or if we had to switch and like help, it'd probably be who would be getting that defensive assignment. Prime Barkley, prime Robinson. But like I'm saying, there would be switches that we've made. They match up well with these players who were shooting. Lamont had a great take when he said that a lot of those sets and a lot of those pick and rolls that have a lot of their offensive schemes would be dedicated on exploiting a lot of the great shooters, which is the case. You had Durant outside the perimeter; he can shoot from anywhere. Durant, or you had Booker outside, Curry, obviously, but it would be about the best players who could actually adapt to the defensive schemes. And like you're right, different rules, different things like that. What are we playing by? It would be about who's doing what. What again? This iteration of the Dream Team, I think, has a much better front court to compete with the 92 team, as opposed to like things in the past, like the 08 and the 012 and like 2012 team, things like that, where they have Embiid and Anthony Davis. But it's tough. I don't think that there would be a blowout either way. I think it would be great because both teams were deep. Are we kidding? Are we kidding like Drexler and Stockton and Mullen, things like that? Like those guys were off the bench? No. It's tough because Larry and Magic were really just there for
aesthetics.
like aesthetic. Exactly. Great word.
Bro, Magic was nice. Bird, yes, but Magic was still Magic.
Magic was still good. Yes.
Magic was in the league for a whole year.
This is where we're going to disagree.
Magic was still heavy.
Disagree. I think the 2024 team washes the 92 team, bro.
Hold on, real quick. This is my point, which y'all always told me. Y'all said defense, because I've always said an offense beats a great defense. But y'all have always said, no, you got to have great defense.
92 Pippen right now, LeBron.
Obviously, the 92 defense is way better than 2024. They could match up on anybody on 2024. I don't understand what's so hard about
LeBron doesn't score a single point versus 92 Pippen.
I think Mac
Def, you just keep saying the same shit over and over again. All right,
I didn't say that. That's the first time I said that, bro.
We're about you've been saying that they're just better than the 2024 team for a while. So we're about to get out of here. So we'll get everybody last day. We're gonna start with you, Sturdy.
Well, I will say this though. In general, it's just a hypothetical. You know what I'm saying? If you want to take what they did and reality apply to hypothetical, that's your preference. But for this exercise, it was just outside of the state of those players, everything else is flexible. Rotation, schemes, coach philosophy, all that's flexible. And in my opinion, basketball, you can win in multiple ways. We even saw in these games with France. France did not shoot better than Team USA, but they were still in that game because they controlled other factors of the game. This is what Mac this should have said. I believe, and I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna watch other games with other USA teams. But I believe those other USA teams have personnel as well as schematic advantages over this 2024 team. And simply put, you can beat a team that has superior shooting and even more versatility if you control other factors of basketball, like rebounding, like pace, and if you convert offensive end. So, with that being said, simply put, that 92 Dream Team, outside of impact, personnel-wise, people don't want to admit this, personnel-wise, they can't give this team. There's too many mismatches going on. There's too many mismatches offensively and defensively on both sides of the ball they can keep up with. So, in my opinion, 92. If you want to say a team is better than this 2014, 92 Dream Team ain't the one. It ain't the one. But nevertheless, I'll just leave with this. Speaking of the 92 Dream Team, never forget everybody. John Stockton's not a top 5 point guard, and every Olympian deserves their respect. Period. That's it.
All right, Twin Man, go ahead and get your last takes.
I just want to say shout out to the GOAT LeBron James and the USA basketball team. Both teams actually winning gold. Great job for them. I agree with Sturdy. If you rooted against these teams because you don't like a particular player, you suck as an American. I'm sorry. I understand people feel like Steph Curry should have gotten the MVP, but this isn't based off of 2 games. This is based off the entire tournament. So if you're going by the actual criteria, Steph Curry shouldn't even be in the conversation for MVP. I'm sorry. I didn't make up the criteria, they did. But he had excellent 2 games for him. Great performances by him. Shout out to Team USA and Mac Def. He smoked something really hard if he thinks the 92 team. That's it.
All right, John, go ahead your last take.
My last take is U.S. won total medal count. We was tied with China for gold. We won silver and bronze. And shout out to all our American teams that we sent over there to Paris. We did a great job. We won the Olympics as Americans. And I'm proud of everybody who went over there. If you won or not, you put in the effort to try to be great. And hey, thank you for our Americans for going over there doing their thing.
All right, Ishmael, let's take.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I don't know why people are so critical over this, man. I mean, it's like if you want to see blowouts and all this other stuff, I mean, go watch, third grade basketball or middle school basketball, where like a specific team will blow out a team 20 every single time or something like that. Like you want to see, like, it's competitive basketball. USA went through adversity. They went through times blowing out teams. They went through adversity. They came together and they overcame that adversity and won a game against Serbia, which was incredible. It was some of the best basketball I've ever seen, the best sporting event I've ever seen I've seen in my life. And I think that it's just one of the best. It's one of the best. It is. I mean, like, if you can name something else, then fine. I'm not saying that it's the exact best.
I've got your 15. My bad.
It's competitive, and so
I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty up there, and other people have said this as well. So it's just like I think that's just what we like to see in sports, man. I mean, like, if you ever play sports in your life, you would understand it. And so I'm just, that's all I can say on that. It was just good job, bro. It was good basketball, and then like LeBron James being the most valuable player in the entire world, as also the oldest player in the world. I just think that adds more value to his legacy, man. That's crazy. He's the oldest player, and he won MVP. So I mean, like, I don't know.
If you were not entertained, you wasn't watching.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Like, that's crazy. He's really the oldest player on the court. The oldest player on the court. He was like probably top 5 in the most minutes or whatever. Like, he was really out there. The leader.
No, he led the team in minutes.
Yeah, bro. That's insane.
All right, Tyson. Let me get your last words there.
Oh man, I enjoyed it thoroughly, man. I was at a restaurant with my folks, and when Curry hit that last three with 2 dudes draped on him, bro, that had everybody turned up in the hole. It was all inspiring, bro, to me. But I just think we just gotta appreciate these guys, appreciate everything they doing out there, appreciate the 92 team, appreciate it all, man. It was dope. And I don't know why we really got it. It's so hard to compare these different eras of basketball. I just think the conversation is fun, I guess, but it's really no winner or loser. But just giving those guys they credit for what they did all the time is dope. So that's all I got, bro.
All right.
Travis, what you got for us?
Shout out to everyone had great takes. Tyson, great takes for sure. Obviously, no one ever sees eye to eye with everyone else, but everyone in the chat was going to war per usual. Great takes. Ishmael, Sturdy, Twin Man. Sturdy's my spirit animal. He can be on certain times. Obviously, John is the GOAT. And it's all just a lot of what I expected. And we covered a variety of topics. That's all you can ask for. And Twin Man, love you too. So, yeah.
All right, guys. Like I said at the beginning of the show, LeBron James had the best year this year of any basketball player. If you don't believe me, go and watch the tapes. The guy was amazing this year, even though he didn't win an NBA title. No, Jason Tatum couldn't get off the bench, and he's pretty pissed off. He didn't get any Finals MVP or Eastern Conference MVP. He's probably not. He's probably happy about winning the title, but he's going to have
Olympic MVP
next year to himself.
Olympic champion, All NBA first team, NBA champion the same year. I mean, I got to count for something, right?
It does.
And he did get an extension. He did get an extension too.
Yeah,
Pythagoras 314.
And he had the all-time greatest interview. When we said we did it. This is.
Yeah, we already stayed.
Do you have a LeBron poster on your ceiling?
He isn't too happy.
Come on, Michelle.
What'd you ask me? What'd you say?
You have a LeBron poster on your ceiling? Come on.
Travis,
No, I don't. No, I don't have
Never
any
right
posters.
there.
very good
Never
troll,
right
and I'm
there.
here for it.
That's John.
You
John
heard
got
Travis?
that.
You're
Hey,
becoming a
Travis.
really good troll. And
I
I'm
see
here
it.
for it.
Hey,
I
Travis.
see it. There it is right there. John, come on, man. You can do better. Get some Dominic Wilkins posters up in there. Like, mix it up. What are we doing?
But yeah, man, that was the best run I've ever seen in the Olympics, man. That was
I mean, it was very entertaining. I don't know how someone
Like-
could enjoy what happened. Like,
I've seen Stephen Curry play in person, you know, because I'm from the Bay Area. But like, man, that was phenomenal, bro. Like what he really.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's like the best Steph Curry game I've ever seen versus Serbia. Even though it's the Olympics, I never seen him take over a game that was needed like that before. He's always had, even though he had LeBron and KD on his team, he took over the whole game.
I just wanted to say this last thing.
That
This
50-point game,
last thing.
He's better than
game
LeBron.
against Game 7. Hold on. That 50-point game against Game 7 against the Kings, that wasn't up there.
You said what? The
I'm saying
50-point game?
Curry's
Yeah,
Curry 50-point
that
game
was
against Kings, Game 7. You talking about shot for shot? He was literally
that was
going blow
good.
for blow with the Kings in the
Yeah,
first
but-
half.
That was
Look,
good.
the thing
but,
that was really
but
special
then
to me,
again, that was the first round.
Brandon, would you say
That was the first
Stephen
time.
Curry's a
This
better
was-
player than LeBron James?
No, let me say this last thing. The thing that was really crazy to me, man,
Would
that
you
last
really?
shot Stephen Curry had, that last shot. See, LeBron and KD was open.
We're choking.
And Curry did not care that it was a double team, bro.
Didn't LeBron have like 5 turnovers in that
It
fourth
was a heat
quarter?
check. It was a heat check.
And
It
he
was a heat
shot
check
that
for Steph
shot.
Curry.
I jumped out of my seat. My brother and I was like, man,
You're like, Curry's a goat. Yes.
he was open, man. Like that was
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, to like get back to what Sturdy was saying, Steph had the whole country on his back that game.
right.
Yeah.
Versus Serbia. The
He was
whole
about to pull like
country.
a 2011.
Everybody was on pins and needles. Millions upon millions of people was on pins and needles.
You're right. When the tough shot
versus the Kings,
Curry.
Versus the Kings, you know, they didn't have a chance to even remotely win a title anyways. But he played great. But this was the highest stakes that I've seen Curry in was versus Serbia.
When the
And
country needs a play, it's Clay Curry.
I'm not for Serbia, but for France, I thought we were still good because a lot of people we held the lead majority of the game. But when Evan Fournier did that in and out crossover on the left on the right wing to cut it down to 3, I'm like, all right, y'all gotta stop playing around and end this shit. In this game, bro. Because if y'all saw the Serbia game against France, they was getting a lot of favorable calls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I ain't want no fluke. I ain't want no home cooking basically. So like, I only got worried in that France game when Evan Fournier did that in and out.
Yeah. And once it was down to 3, that's when I actually set up and like, okay, you guys got to do something now. Yeah, like stop playing around with these guys.
You guys have to pass to Curry. Just go ahead and do it. The actual best player on the team. Go ahead.
So who? Steph Curry's the best player on the team. He definitely was the last 2 games for sure.
What's all that matters? Let's go.
The last 2 games for sure.
Shut up, Israel.
All right. All right, guys. It's been a while. We about to get up out of here. So,
if you're a basketball fan and you're tired of basketball shows that talk about fake narratives and using non-basketball terms like killer instinct, playoff translation, gravity, come to GOAT James Kingdom.